Good morning. I guess I'm on live now. Maybe Carol is driving. Carol is driving and can't talk. And my brother Marcus is here. Good morning, Maple Bacon. Good morning, Tina McNeil. Good morning, Chuck McNeil, if you're out there. I hope you brought some maple bacon. Hey, Chuck, there you are. Good morning. Good to see you. Oh, I'm running late a little bit. What time is it anyway? My watch says it's about 4 minutes past. That's close. Got an itchy back. Well, that's good. I'm running late because you were stuck in the drive-thru picking up donuts. You wish you were supposed. I made plain yesterday in my announcement that you were supposed to do the donut man. So I'm guessing by you asking that question that you didn't bring any for us. Although there was a line at the donut shop this morning, I have to admit. Because I did bring a cup. I only brought a couple this week, Mike. See? Oh, they're not even all there. I gotta start checking this box before I bring it home. Come on over, Mike said. He'll go pick some up. By the time we get there, he'll have them picked up, eaten, and probably gonna pick up more. Maybe not time Chuck and Tina get there, but by the time I get there, for sure. How is everybody today? Oh, me. And today's coffee is brought to you by Miss Tina and Mr. Chuck McNeil, all the way from Utica, New York. And I'll probably have drunk it all in another day or two. Mr. Bacon says he's had a busy, rough week at work. Yeah, I hate to hear that for him, Mike. Yeah. By my yawning, you can tell it's been a busy week for me, too. Oh, I'm liking it, Chuck. I've enjoyed every drop of it. I may or may not. I guess I might consider changing. We got a local coffee house that brews that roast beans, and my buddy Phil gave me some of that for Christmas, and it was just so fresh. Ah, dang it. This was good and fresh. Some of that I've gotten lately, mail order, I've not been 100%. I mean, it's still good, but it's not. I don't know. It may be because I got so far behind it. I mean, I'm stocked up for like the next 6 months. That's the problem with ordering stuff, and you never know when you're gonna get ahead or behind the order curve, and evidently I got way ahead of it. I have enough coffee now to last me for a bit. And I can't stop yawning. Somebody's sleepy. Somebody got up early this morning. And I always start yawning when I come on and start talking. Can't help it. I'd like to quit though. I don't like to sit here and yawn. Take some deep breaths. Well, that's the thing about yawning, it's contagious. Crap. Oh, I'll apologize if I got anybody else yawning other than Brenda. Mike, that's what happens when you roll out of bed and then hop right on your computer, like some people up in Canada. I mean, I'm assuming that's what happened, that you must have just jumped right out of bed and came to the computer because you didn't have time to go get your what? You're going to go to the RV? Oh, there's an RV show in town. Oh, yeah, cool. See, that got my attention. Hey, Carkey, welcome in. I thought I said hi. Maybe I didn't. You're driving. I'm listening, but won't be chatting. Okay, well, I hate that, but I'm glad you're listening. So you won't be on at all then. And I'm asking the person that says she can't chat. I'm listening to my nose stopping up. Oh, you're saving your appetite. Hey, Diana. I bet she don't find you. I bet she doesn't find you near as funny as I do. We do. I can, Mike. Carol, are you going to go pick up donuts for us? Is that why you're driving? Oh, now I get the donut part. Oh, Mike, you're a mess, buddy. I'll call ahead. Tell me where the show's at, and I'll call ahead. Tell them you're coming, so I'll make sure they got donuts ready. Right, Daddy. You want to come up and say hi while you're awake? You can come up and take over, and then I can fall asleep and take my nap, okay? You want to do that? Say hi, everybody. It's so tattered. You want to go tell Chuck and Mr. Chuck and Miss Tina, thank you for your treats? Huh? Yeah. We like treats, don't we? My sister and I both do. Yeah. You gonna get down? You pushing me away or grabbing my hand? What are you doing? I'll leave you alone. You go sleep. Carol, since you couldn't see, we just had Teddy. Teddy was just on the camera waving. Everybody saying hello, buddy. They're saying hello, and you're being rude. You laid back down. Just when everybody got up to say hi. Yeah, everybody got up to say hi. He's been watching the birds and stuff out back. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry about this too. I got a doctor in my nose. Hang on a minute. Hey, Ellie Mae and Coconut and Walter said hi. Yeah, you know who they are? He wants to know if they're Canadian Smilodons, but no, they're more along the lines of your dire wolf, but different. Be right back, guys. That helps a little bit. If it doesn't, I know I've got some sinus medicine here somewhere. Well, I just dropped all my money. Bear with me, folks. I'm trying to. The reason you only see my head is having to work behind the screen here a minute. I thought I had me some sinus medication. I can't imagine not finding it on my desk. My desk is cleaned off and so clutter free that, you'd think I could just see it laying there. If you believe that, I would like to sell you a horse trailer camper conversion I've got for sale. Actually, if I had a horse trailer camper, I'd be keeping it so we could live in it probably. Thank you, Mike. Okay, I'm through being rude and off the picture. I don't know what I've done with my sinus meds. Maybe I took them over there. There being probably the place I'll roost and nap later. Oh me. So what's everybody else doing today? Mike and Diana are going to the RV and camper show. That sounds like fun. We used to do that a lot, those kinds of things, back when I could walk and Brenda felt like getting out and doing anything and being seen in public with yours truly. And I can't figure out what she's up to. I keep hearing lots of footfalls on the ceiling above me, and I know that's not the cats. Well, for one thing, the big cats are out here. The little cat don't make that much noise. Although when you're down here and they're both running up, they'll get the zoomies and they'll run up down the hall chasing one another. And from down here, it sounds like a buffalo running back and forth up there. Oh, Brenda's got some stuff packed up. She's already packing. I'm studying mine so I can do it in an efficient, organized manner, but I hadn't started yet. I didn't want to have to, realize halfway through that I'd done it wrong and then have to repack it. Well, I've got some stuff already in boxes, actually. I packed up some stuff earlier this year that I was going to store in a different manner. Now I'll get to store it somewhere else, I guess. Hopefully a garage. Well, I was excited yesterday. I had thought I'd found the perfect house. It's just on a little bit of property, a little over an acre of property, which I'd like to have more. I wish I could afford more, but anyway. Mike, you'll like this part. It had a three-car garage. Brenda, I'm not going to be a last-minute packer. Don't you start on me this morning. Hey, Dave, welcome in. It's Adventures by Dave. Dave, did you go somewhere this week and watch the groundhog not see a shadow? I meant to go through your videos and see if you had been, which was yesterday, I guess, wasn't it? Anyway, I thought I'd found the house. Three-car garage, Mike. I was excited because the driveway just been concreted and it looked nice, and the garage looked nice, and Georgia groundhog. Okay, was that local then to you, or did you have to drive far? I saw a bunch of different groundhogs yesterday listed on a TV weather map, but I can't remember if they showed one down there or not. Today the weather is nice. It was 50 when I went out earlier, at least according to the car. And right now all I see is blue sky out my window, out my door. I have a sliding door here, and I'm kind of looking to the north. Yeah, maybe northwest a little bit. And right now it looks good. I don't know what it's supposed to get up to today. I guess I could look at some weather and find out. Probably easier to do on my phone. It is a balmy day. 46 right now. Okay. I'm really upset that. Anyway, I thought I was starting to tell you, I thought I found the perfect house. It just had about almost everything we would ever have wanted. And the official weather guy says it's 45 at the airport. It's supposed to get up to 60, so it's not going to warm up much, but that's okay. We had a couple days down in the 20s, I think, this week. It's in that time of year when it's bouncing up and down. And looking at the weather map, I don't see any bad stuff. And maybe later, or maybe tomorrow. What about you guys, Dave? Are they calling for some of that hard rain down your way? I don't think we're supposed to get as much, but man, out west they're getting hammered. Brenda's talking about, oh, yeah, our clownfish laid more eggs. They lay them and they're there for about 3 or 4 days and then they disappear. We're not sure if they're eating them or if something else is eating them in the fish tank. I suspect it's the crabs. They wait till they get just right and then they chomp, 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 chomp. And I think somebody's eating well. So they've laid eggs 3 times now. Each time probably about the same number. If they'd laid them all at once and hatched, we'd had a lot of little clownfishes. We're just excited that they started, doing the eggland thing because we weren't sure they were for a long time. They weren't. I don't know if you know this or not, but clownfish, when they pair up, one of them basically turns into a female. So we got some transgender action going on. Only they change everything, and she generally gets bigger, and he'll get bigger, but he stays small as they grow. They will get older and get bigger, but the females get the biggest. She lays the eggs and he fertilizes them. And once they started, boy, they hadn't quit yet, which is probably a good thing, I guess. No, I don't. Well, I never did finish that story. I don't guess. Brenda just sent me a note down a little while ago, right before the show. Naturally, right before so I'd be sad when the show came on. That that three-car garage house. Apparently, not only is it sold, but it's been sold. Apparently, they didn't take the ad down, or somebody left it running. I think that probably for bait for guys like me or Mike, who might get excited for three-car garage. So it's gone. So the answer to that's probably no, Mike. We went and looked at. We looked a little bit looking one day this week at some stuff, but we've been kind of shooed away from those houses because we got word that they're not. They look nice, but they're put up quick, and they're probably not as good a house as they could be. Well, it's not to be there still out there for you. You'll find one. I hope so, Mike. I mean, I'm not giving up, but we're kind of running out of time. It's right now. I would have to say that it's harder than I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be a task, but I think it's going to turn out to be harder than. My goodness. Okay, let's get some of this New York coffee down me or something. Anyway, I don't know if I finished answering your question, Mike, but yeah, there's something out there, I guess. I just don't know. I've got a camper spot out, an RV spot out there that we could live in for a while if we had to. And we could probably drive it. I say that because I told Brenda the other day, man, might just have to find us a big old that's got a nice interior but won't run and have it towed somewhere and just let it sit and we'll live in it until we can find a place. I'd like to find. I would still. I mean, I go back and forth, but when things are not looking good, then I think I tend to look further afield, and the more I do, the more I'd like to get out in the country again. Get out of town. We've been in town too long. That's probably part of the problem. But when I find something I like, it's either too much or no longer available. Oh, excuse me, guys. So much my eyes are watering. Anyway, I don't know if Marcus is going to be here or not today. I hadn't heard from him this morning. Talked to him for a brief time last night. Well, go off, weather. Oh, well, don't see a note from me. I know, Tina. Size matters. Brenda Sue. You're right, and I keep thinking, and that's what keeps drawing me back closer to town. That's why I would like to have stayed right here until I died because we were close to our doctors, all our doctors. I'm sorry, guys. The only doctor, the doctor that was the furthest away from us was probably my neuro doctor. He's downtown, which was a hassle, but it's really not that far away. But our doctor's office is within a few miles of here, and we can get to her quick. And she would come to us probably if we called and needed her to. I think. So that's those are all the issues. Hey, I don't have my glasses on, but I believe I see Miss Kelly. Yeah, I see red hair. Good morning, Miss Kelly. The Mickey Bunch has arrived. Da-da-da-da. My poor arm cut to pieces. I don't know, guys. I may have to go back to bed and just might call a rain check. I need Mark to get on here so he can make me laugh or do something, keep me going. Watch me fall asleep now. How are you, Kelly? How are things? Well, I'm gonna watch. I showed you guys my new watch. I'm really getting like an old man. I've probably shown this 100 times, and I'll still be asking. Anybody seen my new watch? My new old watch. Chat amongst yourselves for a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, I'll be right here. I am. Not much better, I don't think. Yeah, you get Chuck and Tina. My house in Florida. Your house in Florida is up for sale. As soon as it sells, I'll be back in Florida. Wait a minute. Your house in Florida is up for sale, but as soon as it sells, you'll be back in Florida. Does that mean you mean you'll be back in Florida to sell your house, or you'll be back in Florida moving in the house? Chat. Yeah, I need to chat. Keep me awake, guys. I can't stop yawning. And I have had some coffee already this morning, so it ain't that. But house hunting, Brenda, you can jump right in there. House hunting for us has not gone easily, but we've only been at it for a month, and we didn't get real serious till after Christmas. So, oh, okay. Well, I don't know if that somehow that seems backwards, but okay. I'm sure you have a plan, Kelly. You don't have any houses in Tennessee you need to sell or rent out, do you? Particularly in the Knoxville area. Oh, I believe you, Tina. It doesn't taste like it's decaffeinated. I don't honestly. Coffee doesn't. I don't know that coffee keeps me awake anymore. Anyway, feel like I've drank so much in my life that it's it doesn't have the same effect. And Death Wish is supposed to be have the or one of the highest caffeine levels of any coffee available, and I can sleep right through it too. Sometimes I can drink half this jug and then sit down on the couch with Teddy, and I'm out because I've tried it. I can be a two or three prices right kind of guy on the couch if I if I sit down to watch it, no matter how much coffee I've had. Makes it hard to read sometimes. I want to nod off in the middle. I drop my books. I hate when anybody else do that. Any of us older people do that besides me. You're trying to sit and read or lay it down and read in the bed, and it seems like when you're getting to the good part in your book, you suddenly hear it clatter to the floor, and that's hard with it. That's bad on a tablet. That's why all my tablets have. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, down there. That's why all my tablets have a case on them, and this. They're not a sponsor either, so I'm not. But this is the best protective covering that I've found for any digital device. I highly recommend them. They cost a little bit more than the thin ones, but they're almost like a rubber suit. And I've read up they are supposedly the military does use them on some of their stuff, especially like in desert stuff. But this is the best. It gives you a good. It's got a heptatic, nice heptatic touch or feeling, and it's thick. And these things last and last and last. I've had people say, "Oh, I don't like those. They do this and they do that." This sticks unless you get one that's somehow the case is wrinkling it up or something. Once it's on there, and you can take them off and clean them, so it's really not like it's over. Although I never take mine off once I put them on. The only reason I changed one lately is when I had something sharp got on mine and took a chunk out, and I kept hitting it, and I was afraid I was going to start unrolling it. So I replaced it, but it hadn't torn anymore, and it didn't scratch my lens. The front of my camera or my phone. This one's got it on it, and I just love it. I love them. I just put one. Well, that one's for my phone. I put a bigger one on Brenda. Santa Claus brought Brenda a new tablet, so she got a new. Well, this would be in. I have seen that OtterBoxes, and I like OtterBoxes. I used to use OtterBoxes all the time, and especially when I was working because I'm not rough on a phone, but I'm prone to, everybody's prone to drop them. I think, and I was dropping them in the bottom of the boat and in the bottom of my truck, and so I always put a case on them. But I hadn't bought an OtterBox for this new phone yet. I had to replace my phone because my other one just went black, and I've got this Crave. It's just a rubber case because it works too. I mean, anything that'll absorb shock if it hits on the corner, but this covering, this shield, is a separate piece, and you put it on and then put your cover on. or your case on. But this case just snaps on. It's not got any other plastic pieces with it. But I do like OtterBoxes a lot because I think they're probably as good as anything they make. I can't remember what the ones are they make for iPhones, but they don't. That company doesn't make them for Android phones, which is what I use. But OtterBox does, and yeah, they're good. But I like the cover. This cover, some OtterBoxes come with a built-in shield. I like this one better. I don't know. It just to me it stays cleaner. It doesn't scratch up easily. Trying to think what it reminds. I've had several people use it and then say, "Wow, I like that." What do you got on that? Because you can. It like I said, it feels. It almost feels like a rubber coating on it, but it's got real good touch and feel. Reaction. Good morning, Kay. Oh, your OtterBox is coming apart. Well, I hate to hear that. I tell you what, I carried mine in the field for years, and they lasted me well. I broke mine or chipped mine more or did damage to it more when I was trying to take it off and take it apart and put it back together because it snaps together, real tight. So every time I would take it apart to, I don't know, do something with it, such as put it on my gimbal, then I tended to break a latch or a catch on it, or one of the little snap catches, and that always aggravated me. But other than that, I thought they worked well. But I don't have people use a phone anymore without some kind of a cover on it because I can't hold on to them. Maybe other people can, but my hands are too slippery or something. And when I grab a phone, they'll just slide right out. And every time I try to use mine without a cover, I tend to drop it, or have in the past. And so I always keep a cover on one. Oh, really, Kay? I never had that problem. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Tina. I think they are guaranteed to some. I can't remember now exactly. I had one laying here that took off my old phone. That's the thing. I've got a couple of them that aren't damaged at all, but no longer fit my phone, which is the other thing that aggravates the Sam hell out of me. You can't buy two phones alike anymore. You'd think they made like a 10, an 11, and a 12. They could change all the internal stuff, but leave the buttons and stuff where they were. That way your cases fit and graduate up. Let's double check again, make sure I hadn't anything from Marcus. No. Strange. I got a couple of notes from him and a photo or two. It really late this morning. Well, like 1:30 this morning. I just happened to be awake, and which I thought was odd that he was sending them to me that late. Of course, it wasn't quite as late out there. But then after I got them, he didn't. After I responded, he didn't answer me back. I don't know if they just got delayed in the electronic pipeline between here and Wyoming or what. I'm slowing down. I'm not yawning as much, guys. That's good. I'll be getting a new phone soon, so I know I'll have to get a new. Yeah, you will. It won't. I guarantee it won't fit it unless you get the same thing you got now, which is not likely since they changed so much. I did. I like this phone though. I mean, I will have to say that. Well, like this one, I don't know. Brenda's may be the same size, and I had one just like hers until mine quit crapped in the bed. But it had a button on each side. It had the volume buttons, I think, were over here, and the on-off button might have been on this side. This one, and that's where the thumb reader was too. It was on the this side, right side. Mine has all the buttons are on the right side, and my thumb reader's on the screen. And but the buttons throw it off. I mean, none of my old cases would work. So anyway, that's just how it is. Well, I'll tell you what, if Marcus isn't here, I don't know if I'll do my slideshow. I may save it for next week, guys. So we may just talk till I fall asleep, and then everybody else can go take a nap. How about that for a deal? Chuck, was there that really got me confused right now on football games and that kind of stuff, ending up the hey Cherie, good morning, and hope you're having a good lunch or a break. When is the Pro Bowl game this weekend? Or have they already had it? And is it going to just be like no contact football, or is it going to be a real game and a grab the tail kind of football, whatever they call that? Grab the flag football. I don't know. I'm going to assume you're at work. Yeah, on my lunch. Okay. Speaking of that, we got to go get Brendan and I got it. We've been piddling around and hadn't ordered any groceries in a little bit. We got to get some bread and stuff like that to keep here. We're out of all that stuff right now. Not because we shouldn't be, just because we hadn't been in the store and or had anything delivered. Okay, that's okay, Tina. I just wanted if he knew when the Pro Bowl game was on, if it is on. I think Peyton are coaching the teams, if I understood right. And I think they're this weekend at some point. I'm sure they'll fill the airways up with my least favorite sporting event of all. No, my second least favorite sporting event of all time, basketball. Hey, Doug. Good morning. Zippity doo Doug has entered the room, guys. 3. Okay. Thank you, Tina. Oh, and there's hockey. Oh, wait a minute. The hockey's this weekend, too. I mean, the All-Star event should be tomorrow, I think. Well, Cherie, have things slowed down in the retail world a little bit? I mean, since Christmas has passed and the return season should be about over, have you guys slowed at all in your Walmart in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, or is it still just constant busyness? Well, Header, you got to quit pulling on my shirt, buddy. Oh, full into bathing suits now. Oh, wow. I guess so. Hey, buddy. You gonna get up? I'd rather you got up than pulled on my shirt and my arm. You're tearing my arm all to pieces, not to mention my clothing. Look at that. Oh, the wind's picked up. I thought something was shaking the bird feeder, but I guess it's the wind blowing it. Although it don't look like it's blowing that much. Was the squirrel on it, bud? Maybe there was a squirrel standing on it. He'd like to go out there and get it. I know that. Well, that's true, Cherie. You guys are a beach store, so. Oh, you always working. So they keep you guys pretty much in the same areas and all the time, Cherie. I know, Tina. God, I'm going to sit here and fall asleep. I can't believe it. And I slept good last night, too. In fact, I got in bed and I must have gone out pretty quick because next thing I knew, the alarm was going off and it was, oh boy, Teddy, go get them, buddy. Redbirds, Cardinals. Yeah. The alarm was going off and I thought, wow, what is that noise? Already here in the middle of the night still. Because it certainly was still dark. There's Maple Bacon. You've been quiet. Did you go get donuts? Yeah, Mike, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I've been out looking at houses all night by flashlight. I like to go check the neighborhood, see if the dogs bark or if the alarms go off, shake some cars, that kind of stuff. So it's just, easier to do that at night that can't see. And when you're a guy like me, you're slow, so you can't really run away, so you got to hide. Yeah, with a flashlight, you can check out, all the little stuff you might not get to see during the day. Well, Diane, I hope not. I mean, I've had this runny nose and cough, I guess, for a couple of weeks, a little bit, but it's not getting any better. And today I'm just tired, I guess. I don't know. I'll be honest, it's been, I don't know, Brenda would say this or think this or not, but it's been a little stressful. I mean, I think both of us have been under the gun to try to find something, figure out something how we're gonna manage, or where we're gonna go, and short of putting up a GoFundMe page to find a house. It's just been a process. I mean, and I honestly figured 3 to 4 months was probably going to be enough time around here to find something, but right now I don't know if that's going to be the case. I hate to move in the first place, Diana. I hate to pack, hate to unpack. I can't really help to move furniture and stuff anymore, and I hate the whole process. And then on top of that, we got to find a place to put it all. Hey, bud. What? Yeah, okay. It's okay. He's a little worried about that too. He doesn't like to go anywhere, so do you? Him or his sister, either one. What's that? What do you hear? So they're not. If they had any clue what was going on, they wouldn't. They'd be hiding all the time. Don't pull on my shirt. Remember what I told you? Plus, when you pull me down like that, I fall asleep. Cherie said, "Hi, Teddy." Actually, she said, "Hey, Teddy," but Yeah. So anyway, what? What's the matter? He may be wanting me to be quiet. He's that it? That the problem? Like keeping him awake. He's supposed to help keep me awake, but he's not doing a very good job. I'm thinking about going live at the RV show on Instagram. Wow, that'd be good, Mike. That'd be great. You can get a signal out there. Let us know. I don't know, babe. I think Mark has he might have got busy. Or he may not be able to get out today. That's what I was saying earlier. I got messages from him up late, so maybe he's not feeling good. Tim, you can move in with Mike and Diana. Well, I thought about that, Doug. You'd think so, but all I've heard so far is how big's your car, because you might need to sleep on the driveway. And right now, weather up there is not very conducive to that. No, Mike said, well, if Mike says it's a great idea, then there you go. Maybe we'll do that. Brenda would do it, I know. She's ready to get out of here. Who knows? We may still end up in an RV for a year. I told her that the other night. Maybe we need to find us a small one and just spend a year driving around until we, figure something out. I think the Pro Bowl is this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. It's supposed to be flag football. I did hear that, and that's what I understood it to be, Chuck. It was going to be flag footballs. I guess they're trying to do that so the players will show up or whatever, so they won't worry about getting hurt. Teams won't worry about, sending their players to the Pro Bowl game. It doesn't mean anything. Every once in a while, somebody does get hurt in one of those games, and then most of the time they can figure out something for them to do. But anyway, I'm thinking and speaking my mouth overrun my brain at the moment. We're trying to plan a road trip this summer to go to South Dakota and come down. Well, I would love that, Mike. I think that'll be great. I'm sure we'll be in the area. I just don't know where. We've thought about moving back up. But we grew up about 100 miles east of here, and we've thought about trying to go back up there since it's not that far away. But neither one of us really has anything up there calling us home. Brenda still has some family up there. My family's all gone from that area. My brother lives 20 miles or so away. Maybe not quite that from where we live, but he's not really, he's in almost a different town. He's in what we used to call Gray State. There he is. Hang on, folks. The Lone Ranger's made it to the
Hang on, folks.
Man, you got here just in time. I was about to fall.
I am late, but I got a son and a grandson here. So
I thought you might have. That's since Sammy was there shooting your bow yesterday.
Oh, that's right. I sent you a picture of that.
Were you up that late, or did they just come in that late?
Who?
I got your pictures about 1:30 last night, my time.
Oh no, I was up that late. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up.
No, you didn't. That's the thing. I had just gone to bed. That's the other reason why I can't stay awake. Brenda keeps me up watching British TV,
But
So
it,
it's
yeah,
that.
we got a. My son's here, and he finally got his dream job with the department.
Oh yeah, he
He's
told
an
me that.
official department employee now, and the grandson is here, and their mama's down in Salt Lake at a boat show doing fishery stuff for a boat show.
Oh yeah, we used to do something like that here when the boat shows came to town
And
too.
so they're driving down to Salt Lake to meet her today and go hang out in the big city,
Go shopping.
Well, go do something.
Yeah.
Even if it's wrong. But yeah, I had Sammy, I handed Sam an arrow with a stone tip on it and said, shoot that cottonwood tree right there. Bury that head in that cottonwood tree. So he flung the first arrow out of that bow,
And he hit the tree, I take
and
it.
hopefully that's luck. Oh yeah, it's still in the tree. So take that, archaeologists.
Yeah,
Solve that mystery.
they're gonna look. Somebody's gonna cut that down or find that log 1,000 years from now. And they're gonna think, "Wow, wow! Look at this. This tree must have been old when it was shot." These kind of points went out in 1834.
It was like when we used to mess with the BLM archaeologists.
That was great. Funny things. Ouch! Hey,
Somebody got a hold of your arm?
hey! Yeah, and he's been
Where'd
a
he
bug.
bite you?
He said, "Well, he didn't really bite me, but he was." Don't curl your lip up at me. I'll smack you in the next week, buddy.
He's feeling surly today, huh?
He is. I'm keeping him awake here, I think. There, you
Teddy
go.
needs a
Go do your own
timeout.
thing. Huh?
Mike said Teddy needed a timeout. He needs to go hang out with Walter, maybe.
Well, that's probably that would do it. I think him and Walter would have a big old time.
He'd be up in the tree and Walter'd be underneath him.
Oh,
I'm a hound dog.
I'm a hound dog. You hear that? You'd be treed like a coon, buddy. And then what would you do? So you still got Sammy and Boone still there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're hanging out. Okay, I got you now.
They're gonna leave out here later this
You're
morning.
cutting, but I wasn't bleeding.
Because it's snowing like a snowy thing out there right now.
Oh man.
So we've been really mild, and but not all of our snow, but a bunch of our snow like melted and went away.
Yeah, I saw that in the pictures you sent me yesterday.
I mean, we got big drifts still here and there, but compared to last winter, it's nothing.
Yeah, you got.
But it's recovering itself today, so trying to.
If you don't, you're not real careful, you may end up with all that. What am I looking for? All that crap that's coming in on the West Coast.
Pacific, yeah. Oh, yeah. We figured it'd break free at some point and come roaring this way. And it's little bitty, tiny, fine snow. So,
yeah.
The people, and maybe they say this everywhere, but the people here say if it's fine like meal, it'll snow a great deal.
Oh. Right, man, that rhymes and everything.
That's like a red sky at night kind of a deal.
It is. Maybe even better. And I just shut down my slideshow. Instead of opening it, I shut it down.
You did what?
Well, I was messing with my slide stuff, getting ready so I could pop it up here in a minute, and instead of opening it, I fooled around and shut it down, which is just a thing a Tim would do. Tims are like that sometimes. They fall asleep in their chair and then they forget how to operate the computer. Just in one easy lessons. Back to Africa. But this time, all the animals, all the time. And I came up with a little jingle there: lions and birds and meerkats. Oh my! That's an original piece of work right there, buddy.
Original piece of work.
Yep.
Well, this is the. Uh-oh, what I do? Here's the.
I like that. I like the looks of it. Did you see the note?
Huh?
Did you see? Did you see the note I sent you?
Uh-uh.
I told you last night that's a pretty good looking bow. In fact, that looks damn near as nice as the yellow fiberglass Shakespeare I got when I was about 11. About the right color. No kidding, no joke though. It looks pretty. What's it pulling right now?
Probably about 55.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's finished. I just got to do the finish work on it. It's all tailored.
Oh, you got it all. You're done with that part then.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was going to unstring it here. Let's see. I've been stretching the string this morning on it. Well, come on. Behave. And the cool thing is that it comes apart.
2 pieces.
So it's just that long in the suitcase or in a bow case.
Cool. That's really cool.
First one of these I built, so I like it.
You may have to make another one.
I probably will have to.
Maybe more than one.
I probably could do that.
Hey, there's John. He says he had one of those bows too. Yeah, it probably that's about right, John. I thought it was something else when I got mine. That's about 10, 8 or 10. I don't remember, but I've been shooting a bow for a long time. But
that's a good poundage for DARPing.
Oh, I should have made you big so everybody could see your bow better.
Oh, they saw enough of it. I'm sure.
Well, it looks nice though. What I've seen.
Yeah, it tailored out real.
See, I could have done that, and I didn't think of it.
When I tailored it, it worked better than. You can't see the rings, darn it. The light's bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, it tailored that's the easiest piece of wood to tailor I've ever carved on. So.
Well, that was a good looking piece of wood. The rings in that thing looked amazing. I mean, it looked clear and pretty straight, and
it's real straight. And the rings were about 1/8 of an inch thick, which is the hard rings. And it was good. It's a piece of wood that came out of Nebraska in 2018.
Oh, I was going to say 1888. Man, it
could have been 1988.
Well, it could have been. Either way, it'd be pretty well seasoned, I think.
But it went from a block of wood last week to that. So.
Well, like I said, it looks good. It did look good. I mean, when he was holding it, the picture you sent with Sammy shooting it, it really did look nice. I mean, it just good looking bow.
I was worried about because it's a takedown, it takes down in the handle, that it would be hand shocky, Well,
I was going to ask you that.
But he did. He's like, it just felt like a solid stave that felt perfect, and it shot real smooth, and he drove that stone tip into an old limb scar on that tree that you sat under by the picnic table when you were here.
Yeah.
He stuck that in that limb scar, and it buried it right to the arrow. and the arrow popped off clean and didn't break the arrow. But that stone point is a permanent resident in that piece of dead tissue in that tree.
That's cool.
So, like I said, take that, archaeologists. Figure that one out.
They're gonna cut that open and find that, and then somebody's gonna look around and say, "That orange guy didn't live here, did he?"
And the gal that was the BLM archaeologist I used to mess with, me and my buddy Ron would mess with her. I'd just start assaulting a site with stone points, which I had got that idea from Hillerman, by the way.
From who?
Tony Hillerman.
Oh, yeah. He
remember that one? I can't remember what the book was,
but I can't either. But I read it. I think I read it again.
The guy was like looking at a Folsom site or something, and he was making points.
Yeah. Well, he was trying to prove that the same guy sat there and was making arrow tips in two different places.
Right.
And he said he had the same rock and everything, and it all matched up. And then they come to find out the professor was salting the side.
The first time we did this, we were on a site that was going to become an oil and gas pad.
Oh, good.
I took points and just dropped them randomly around the site.
No, Tina, it doesn't.
And Ron was walking around behind me, picking them up, like, "Hey, Lynn," the gal's name, "can I have this?" He's like, "You're going to let them blade this next week. Can I have this?" And she's like, "No, that's from the such and such culture and whatever." And then Ron didn't let her suffer too long. And he said, "I just watched him make that in his driveway last weekend."
I bet they hated you.
Oh, she got a good. She was a good sport. She got a good
out
of it. So
some are and some aren't. I've met a few that archaeologists.
They can be a serious bunch.
Yeah, and I get part of it because I know they. Well, example in my line of work, or where I worked, archaeology people for a long time.
They were at the bottom of the totem pole.
They were at the bottom of the food chain. Yes, that's exactly right. And they didn't get a lot of respect for what a lot of people didn't see the need.
Right.
That kind of stuff, and couldn't quite, especially back. Well, I'd say it's everywhere, but back here where people went out hunting points and walked fields and stuff and just found them, all the time, and we're always out here looking, and it was a real problem for some of them. But they didn't get a lot of respect for a while, and then they started getting, when some of the new laws came into effect. They once they got a little bit of power, they turned into fire-breathing dragons. Hey there, Boone.
Say, "Good morning, Uncle Tim."
He does smile on his face.
I want to do the pretzel.
What? Oh, he wants me to turn it over to Paw Patrol.
No, we want to watch.
Maybe you could get Uncle Tim to sing the song.
I don't know it.
Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol. Or maybe you could sing the song for Uncle Tim. Can you sing?
Do you know the song?
Can you say, "Paw Patrol, we'll be there on the double"? Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Turn it on.
No, not right now. Maybe after Uncle Tim's gone.
Well, he's got a movie of it playing in there in the living room right now.
Oh, well, he looks like he's a little sleepy. Did you just get up?
No, he's been up for hours.
Did you get up to feed chickens and everything this morning early, milk the cows?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, wouldn't eat your breakfast. He don't feel too good today. So.
Sorry to hear that, buddy. I don't think Uncle Tim does either for some reason.
He had a little croup. Now he's getting over it, but he's still coughing a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, take off, you little hoser. Take off. We'll see you,
See you later, Boone.
He's a mess.
He first hopped up there before he realized you weren't going to turn it on. He had a big old smile on his face.
Yeah, he thought we were going to watch some.
Paw
Either
Patrol.
we were going to watch Cord Blonde, the Cowpoke song, or we were going to watch Paw Patrol song.
Which one of them is it that's crazy about?
Bull riding.
Well, but there's something you want. I don't know. Crap. I think it's Owen anyway, but unless it was one of the girls, but somebody used to like to watch something else you had on. I don't know. Maybe it was bull riding. Anyway, I can't now.
Owen's a bull riding nut.
Yeah.
His mother threatens me nearly every week with bodily harm if he ever gets on.
Wait a minute here.
And I'm like, hey, if he wants to, he's going to do it. Whether you, so you better make sure he knows how to do it.
Most of the time when they go out without any kind of, when that happens,
they get hurt.
They are the ones that tend to get hurt and stuff. They take more chances or something. Tina has just picked up on the fact that you were seeding the area. Just for the record, he didn't let them go on thinking that though.
No. I would drop like a half dozen points just because it was fun to mess with Lynn.
And they were doing something that he'd rather they wasn't doing.
But it wasn't allowed to hold. It didn't stand.
It probably wouldn't have stood anyway.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered.
That's
Unlike, if there'd been grave goods or bone parts or stuff like that, then that would have been a different deal. But
that would do. That'd be entirely different.
Stone points that I'd made in my driveway the week before. You need to move your.
Oh, I'm plumb off.
I only see like a quarter of your face.
Well, part of that's because I made us big and I cut.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize.
Now I can see you.
Well, I was leaning plumb out of the camera there. I'm sorry. I was driving my car, Maybe that's not a thing.
You were driving this anal child crazy. I wanted to fix you.
Well, move your screen over a little bit. You'd be like me fixing that light in the hotel. I'm sure. I know I've told you that story. Everything went dark right after that flash and spark. that hint the scent of ozone in the air.
The scent of ozone.
I think that's how they put it in the Christmas story. How did you get? He was trying to get out. I think he did. I left the door cracked, so he should. Hey, Diana, you guys, are you going to the show? Yeah, Mike's taking Diana to an RV and motorhome, or I guess motorhomes, but RV and camping show, their outdoor show.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Make sure you look for the horse trailers, Mike.
Now you got me coughing, buddy.
Tina noticed it too.
Thanks.
She was wondering where I was going. I was sliding off the screen. There you are back again. I
There
thought
he
you
is
were watching
back.
Paw Patrol.
I thought you was watching Paw Patrol in there. No.
He's thinking.
Huh? What? Show Uncle Tim how the T-Rex roars.
I want to T-Rex. Sir.
Do a T-Rex roar right there. Look, that's Boone. Do a T-Rex roar. Remember how they go?
I want to this. I want the T-Rex song. Double. T-Rex.
How's it roar? Can you show everybody? You're on TV. You want to show everybody how you do a roar? No? You want to show everybody how you can sneeze?
Yeah, and he did a good job of that.
Here, take, go in there and watch Paw Patrol. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Go with Boudreaux and go watch Paw Patrol. Take Boudreaux in the living room. Or tell your Nani you need her.
I thought you said she was gone,
Who?
Shauna.
No?
Oh, I thought you said she went to Salt Lake with the girls. I thought it was just you and the boys there to.
No.
Matt.
She's here. Only Sam's wife Jess is in.
Oh, okay. I
Salt
thought
Lake.
you said
She's working in her job as a fisheries biologist for the department. She's down there. They've got a booth and she's doing part of it, and her co-worker's doing part of it. And they're going to use it as a mini vacation, I guess. And
Yeah.
tonight they're going to go wander about the bright lights of Salt Lake City. And apparently, Jess found she's half Polish, and she found a Polish restaurant.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, well, that's what I said, because I've never seen a list of the great chefs of Poland. It'd be just like the great chefs of Scotland or Ireland.
Well, some countries just aren't known for that.
And I thought, you're going to go there, you're going to eat sausage.
Yeah, I'd say that's true. There's a lady I follow on the internet that's a world traveler kind of person. She found her a steady steed in the form of a Land Rover Defender, one of the bigger ones, an older one, and built it into something she could live out of. And she's traveled all over half the world or more, and spent a lot of time last year in the United States. And
I've seen her. Did she go to Mom
Polish,
Dad?
huh?
Oh, she's a Pole?
She's a Pole. She's got a big, pretty good. She's been training a black or a dark German Shepherd.
I've seen her on the YouTube.
So she's been doing I think she's been showing some Polish cooking, but she's not rated as one of the great chefs of Poland yet, I don't think. But she's been talking about doing that kind of thing.
Well, and I don't know the cuisine over there, but I assume it's
Germanish, I would say.
It's got like Germany, like it's probably kraut based and
Russian influenced, I'd say.
Lots of cabbage and lots of sausages, and it's probably wonderful eating. And Sammy said something about a pierogi or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're famous for that. I think somebody asked that. Somebody talked about that when we were talking about the pierogi canoes. They thought we were talking about the sandwiches.
Ask Tina what I don't know any of those words except pierogi, and I don't know what one of them is. Galumki,
Galump, I don't know that either. And Kapusta,
kapusta.
I don't know what either
that.
one of those are.
So Sam, you've got to try the Galumki and the kapusta, whatever that is. He said okay.
Okay.
He'll give us a report.
I'm guessing Tina knows what it is, or she wouldn't know how to spell it. Most things I don't eat, I don't know how to spell. I know how to spell things like potato and
Well,
tomato.
yeah, it's Tater.
Yeah, Tater, potato.
See, that's an easy one.
My favorite vegetable. Tater. Potatoes are so
Most people don't even consider it a vegetable, and I'm like, well, it's not an animal. It's not a fungus. So
that's exactly right. It is a vegetable of some sort. At least it's vegetation. Lord have mercy. I mean, if it hadn't been for potatoes, I don't know how I'd have grown up.
Oh, yeah. it's just beautiful. It's falling down so quickly. The little white things are just sifting out of the sky from heaven.
Oh man. I thought I'd found the house yesterday. I got all excited and had Brenda looking at it, and we called our realtor, said we want to go see this. It had big garage and about everything we were wanting. It was probably too good to be true, which it turns out it was. It turns out it was an old ad, and the house had been sold a long time ago. They just hadn't taken the ad down, which kind of peeved me off. But I guess you'll have that. We're back on the hunt today.
Back on the hunt.
Yeah. I thought this one looked pretty good. It was kind of out in the country too, so I keep looking at pieces of land. I found some land, but it's usually in some fairly decent chunks. I just don't know if we can afford to buy it and then put something on it too. But I might have to sleep in a teepee for a while.
Might have to take up teepee living, buddy.
Well, I've thought about that. No kidding. I might have to have a small one just for my library, though.
So kapusta is fried sauerkraut, and galumki is a stuffed cabbage.
Okay. Well, I could probably eat both those.
And pierogies have potatoes, cheese, and sauerkraut. Is that like a Polish version of a gordita? Is it like a pocket?
Well, I was thinking it was either pocket or rolled up, but I may be wrong. I guess I could look it up and possibly even put it on the screen.
He went to get dressed.
It's like a ravioli.
Like a ravioli, okay. That I did not know. Well, I didn't know anyway. So.
Well, that sounds good. Because I'm a fan of all those three of those ingredients.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, potatoes, cheese, and sauerkraut. I can do that.
My wife makes these kind of gordita-like items that she calls kraut burgers. They got beef and sauerkraut in them. And
how are they rolled up in something?
Some people call them runses. I think they're like a gordita. They're like a pocket that you split it and you put these ingredients in it, and then you bake it in the oven.
Oh, well.
and they're good.
What, buddy? I'm not going upstairs. It's way too early. We don't do that till nighttime, and it's not time for a snack or a treat. That doesn't come till 4 o'clock, remember? You decided you don't want to read the clock today? You just come down here and make a liar out of me, aren't you? Tell Mark that you are a beggar.
Pierogi, come on, guys. Don't
Anyway.
know what pierogi is.
Are you looking it up? Oh, geez. Oh, he's still wanting to know about the pierogi.
I'm just reading what Mike's saying. I have no idea. I've never had one. So
which one of them was the ravioli like thing?
The pierogi.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Mike, I'm gonna post a link and you can go look at it. How about that?
Well, I get the impression Mike knows exactly what they are. That we're idiots.
Oh, we're the idiots, not him. I found some online that sure do look good. Don't tear my shirt. Let go of my shirt. Thank you. Oh, let go. Thank you.
That's not common food in our.
No,
in
but it looks good.
World where I've lived, you don't drive into Kimmer, Wyoming, and go get you a pierogi, or Jonesboro, Tennessee, neither.
No, you don't. You
can talk about fine cuisine, and then you ask, and then the person that's waiting on you says, "What would you like on your cheeseburger?"
Or would you like your vegetables mixed in with your mashed potatoes, sir?
Exactly.
Or if you're really lucky, they might say, would you prefer a biscuit or cornbread with your beans?
Exactly.
Then you're in high cotton.
What you got there, pal? What is that in your hand?
My chicken.
A metal chicken. Okay.
Chicken.
He's got a metal chicken.
Oh, okay.
Looks more like a songbird, but he said it was a chicken.
Close enough.
Close enough. That'll work.
Mike says pierogies are really good with farmer sausage, lots of sour cream, and green onions. Well, that sounds pretty good, Mike. I'm not saying that, that. I'll just say it sounds pretty good. I won't go. I'm not a big, huge fan of the sour cream. I mean, I like sour cream a little bit once in a while, but I don't like it. Don't do much of it. Mark's muted. He can't hear. Mike says he'd never turn down a good cheeseburger. You know what, Mike? One of my favorite things to do is go when I'm out when I used to be out in the country driving around working, is to pull in to find the little stores and gas stations around here that have a little built-in grill. Because if you're out in the country enough, especially if you're near a highway, state highway, 2-lane kind of highway, and there's a little bit of traffic, if you've got a lunch counter, you can still, sell a lot of food. And there was this one store in particular that had they didn't have a counter, but they had a counter you could order at, but you couldn't eat there. But you could go down the way and they had some tables set up in between the aisles of the store. And you could order, one of the best burgers that I've had in a long time there. They were good hamburgers. Hey there, Boone. I don't know if he got.
He's getting ready to throw a big old fit.
Is he? Why? What's going on?
He's 2.
Oh, well, yeah. What's that? Did he just put something up? Hold something? What am I seeing?
I don't
Right
know.
off
He
your
ain't
left
even here
arm.
anymore.
Well, I know, but I don't. What's
He
that?
had that metal chicken.
Oh, that's never mind. I see something. Looks like a birdhouse or something right behind your arm.
Oh.
Yeah,
Way,
right.
this
Yeah,
way.
right. That thing, right there. Yeah.
That's
What is
one if by land, two
okay.
if by sea.
Yeah. Okay. How many? Tina said he's good at it. I think she probably means throw a fit.
Well, yeah, he's getting to be a proficient fit thrower. And stubborn. Oh my God. I don't want to eat the eggs this morning. I don't want these eggs. No eggs.
No, you don't like eggs, huh?
He loves them.
Oh,
He didn't want to eat them today.
Oh, he's good at being too, Tina said.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't egg day.
He was okay with biscuit with jelly on it. And he was okay with a couple small pieces of bacon, but he didn't want eggs. Normally he eats them like they're going out of style.
Yeah. I was thinking you told me before he did. All right, I'll tell you what, I better start showing some slides because I ended up with way too many and I still didn't get anything covered. Because what I've learned is that, and you already know, I'm sure, and what you will soon come back and tell us all, well, not soon, but later in the year, come back and tell us all about is how much stuff there is in Africa to look at.
The bird book's like this thick, like
something like this, and it's all one. I mean, this is North America, so I'm sure Africa is probably at least that big.
Well, so the book I just got is just for Southern Africa.
Oh,
so it's for like Namibia and Botswana and Zimbabwe and South Africa, those 4 countries.
Yeah.
And it's insane. And they got an awful lot of creatures that I've never even heard of.
Oh, I know.
I'm trying to learn them, but I won't ingest it all before. Maybe when I was 20, I could have, but.
Yeah, those little gray cells aren't working quite as well as they used to.
No, they don't snap they don't fire like they used to. But
they dry fire a lot.
I can generally recognize most of the families of birds over there, but there's some of them that are like, where did that thing come from?
Well, I've probably got some mixed up in here, but hey, there's the Hitchhiking Bones have joined us. Hi there, Don. I assume that's who it is.
And Carol's here.
Hey, Carol, are you out off the road now? She's been listening, but she was driving.
And I don't know if what is that, a bee eater or something there, that bird you got on the front?
Well, I didn't identify that one. I just liked the picture. And
the colors.
Yeah, and the colors.
They're almost impossible to believe that an animal could be that color.
Yeah, they've got some cool birds. And then I thought, well, I also thought, well, I'll just name some of the more infamous. I'm at my daughter's house watching my grandson now. Oh, hi, daughter. If daughter's there, hi, daughter and grandson. I thought, I'll just talk about a couple of the famous dangerous snakes, for example. But when I start looking at snakes from South Africa, there's just
a list as long as you're
on. A lot of the list, a lot of kind of like, well, it's kind of like the South New Mexico, Texas border area where you got all those worm snakes and shovel nose snakes and file snakes and that kind of stuff. There's just all kinds of things that I've never heard of, and a couple or 3 that just look meaner than nastier than Hades and that are just not.
Oh no, Mike's leaving.
Yeah, they're going to that. They're going.
Oh,
to
they're
that.
going to that. They're going to that RV show. That's right.
Hey, Mike, just remember you might want to. You might want to start out at the horse trailer camper part. That way, because if you go into like a big fifth wheel first, she's not going to be satisfied. What I'm trying to tell you is take her to the ones you want first, because if you take them to them last, they're not going to look quite as good. I saw somebody had a fifth wheel camper for sale on eBay, or not eBay, YouTube, or not YouTube, damn it, Facebook Marketplace, or Craigslist, and they were showing the insides of this thing. I thought, holy crap, what is this? Looks like the Taj Mahal inside. Well, maybe not the Taj, but nice and big. And I thought, what? And it was a humongous fifth wheel. Looked like you need a tractor trailer to pull it. Oh, it's on top of Diana's agenda to look at. Well, that's good, Mike. That's a good start. You just tell her we're proud of her since she wants to. That's the first thing she wants to look at.
Admitting that you got a problem is the first step.
That's right. That's exactly right. So she's making progress. I hope she can hear that. Tina says those snakes sound awful hard working. Some of them are. So anyway, I'll throw up some slides. We'll try to talk about stuff. And I've got notes somewhere here I can pull up and name stuff I can't remember. And that'd be probably a lot of them. But that may be a bit easier. I was trying to think what that bird was. I could have pulled up something that came out of Hawaii or the islands or somewhere that don't quite meet, but I don't think that is. Hawaii's got some nectar birds that are made like that with that long beak. And I didn't move. Nope, I didn't want to go there yet. Please hit the like button, or consider it anyway. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment because they like to see that. So I thought I'd look at some different size cats or cat-like animals at least. And so here we got some, I guess you pronounce that gannet, and a caracal, which you can actually, I've seen caracals as pets. I don't know how far removed they are from the wild, but.
Which is just ridiculous. They're too big for.
I know, but I'd like to have one.
That's like owning a bobcat.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but I'd like to have one. I kind of like them. I think they're pretty cool.
They are very cool, but I don't know what I don't know. It's not a cat.
No, I don't think they're Felidae, but they look. Look at that striped tail one up there. It's even got a face that's cat-like, and they do climb and get in and out of trees about like a cat. They don't climb upside down. They climb, just normal. And but there's a couple and they're not very big. These two guys up here aren't very big. This striped tail guy's interesting. Look at that tail. That tail comes off his rump, and it looks like it's as big as his body there. It's got that thing going, I guess. And of course, we got the lions. I posted, I think, this picture last week, but I found these. And you got your pride, you got your, what was that noise? You got your lazy lions hanging out up here. I swear I thought I heard something pop. And you got mamas over here raising the young and doing most of the work. And I had another one I thought that had just all females laying around in it, but and I saw one where they were eating them. Looked like they had a Cape buffalo on the ground, and they were eating it. The rib cage was sticking up in the air. and they were picking it pretty clean. I wonder if they could take down a Cape buffalo, or if they had to catch one that was really on his last legs. I don't know. But I thought those were good pictures of lions. And then, of course, this guy, I couldn't resist this picture because he just looks magnificent. And this is the old cheetah. We talked about these guys, some of these guys last week a little bit anyway.
They never prosper.
Cheaters never prosper. That's right. They use those to keep the guineas from crashing the jets. Oh, you mean caracals, Kay? That's interesting. That's a good idea. I wonder if they'd work over here. You could chase geese away from airports. I've got some guineas down here in a minute. Got a couple of hyenas over there to be aware of. You got this brown one up here, and this spotty dog looking one down here.
And that's the common one. They will be where we're at, but not that first.
Are they canids or are they?
They're hyenidae.
They're what?
They're hyenidae. They're not
their own thing.
They're hyenidae.
And here
those are canids.
And these are your wild African dogs here. These guys are.
Yeah, and they're weird because they're in trouble in a lot of places, but
they are.
There's spots where they're still locally pretty abundant, like Namibia and Botswana, and I don't know if there'll be any of those where we're at or not, but
it'd be cool to sit and watch them hunt. Because I've seen Ariel.
Well, and you can't sit and watch them hunt. You better be moving.
Yeah, well, I was going to say I've seen video from helicopters and or drones now where they've really figured out how to follow them and see them hunt, because it's pretty amazing. I mean, they spread out and they have a strategy on how to catch things. It's cool.
Yeah, they hunt critters over there like wolves hunt elk here.
I don't know what I'm hearing. Oh, well, it's all in my head. I don't know what it is. I was trying to be quiet for a minute, see if it made the noise, but of course it didn't. And these guys are, I didn't actually look the full name up, but these are what I'd call it, like a desert kit fox at the top. I don't think they call them that. And I can tell you in a minute, but don't see it there. But anyway, and this guy at the bottom is an aardwolf, is what they call it. He looks like hyena to me, like he's related to them, but I didn't actually look to see if he is. I started to, but I was running out of time.
Is that an aardwolf?
Aardwolf, yes. Are they related to hyenas? Do you know?
I don't. I think so, remotely.
Well, I can't find that. Never mind. I got to get back. There it is. I'm going to say now I lost the slideshow. And, of course, we talked about this guy. Who knows what this one is here? Who can name this rhinoceros? Kay said, yes, caracal. The guineas are startled by the jets and take flight. Yes, that's true. Then they get sucked into the engine. They cause engine danger. That's very true.
So aardwolves are a hyena.
Okay, I thought they looked like they probably were.
And that's got a prehensile nose, so that's a black rhino.
That's right, it is. I just didn't know if anybody would remember. I knew you'd remember, but that's how you tell this little lip right here is the key. Damn it, what is that, Teddy? I think I'm losing my mind. I keep hearing, are you that or my ears are popping or something? Because I keep hearing this like a kind of noise behind me, but it's not that loud, of course. Then you could hear. Are you making that noise? Maybe he's making that. He's giving himself a bath. And I know there's great pictures of this guy, but I just like this drawing. So I used it because this is something I could see you bringing back with you from Africa.
Bogo.
Well,
I might bring a drawing of one
that's
back.
what I mean, a drawing. I can see you drawing
It ain't gonna be the actual creature.
Yeah,
my buddy's gonna try to bring one of those back.
That'd probably be pretty cool.
Like
I don't remember. I looked it up.
One of those along behind him and pack his rifle and call him Buana.
Call him Buana. I can't remember, but don't these guys run between? Are they over a ton? Are they in the teens weight wise?
I don't have a clue.
Yeah, I don't either. I remember reading it last, but I don't remember. I didn't look it up today. But
I think they're a ton or more. I think they're big.
They're big. Well, they look big. They're built big, that's for sure.
And lions jump up on their back and kill them, which is way impressive. So
yeah, but they probably wait till they're old and slowed down a lot. And
I've seen a lot of footage of them just jumping on like what it looks like just a healthy buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah.
If there's enough of them, and then that's when male lions are most prone to hunt, participate, is when they're taking those big guys down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
They hunt a lot more than people. People always say that the lionesses do all the hunting, which is hogwash, but they don't do hunting on small stuff. Typically, they're in on the big kills, like those, or young elephants or whatever.
Before it gets away here, I want to make a note or mention something that Kay's talking about. She's talking about how they use them to, keep the guineas down out of the airplanes flying up. And caracals have great leaping power. They can get up in the air like 10 or 12 feet, I think, and catch birds out of the air. That's one of their strategic plans on how they catch game. I mean, and I've seen them in captivity at least jump, 10, 12 feet high from a flat-footed. That's pretty. I wish I could jump 10 feet standing flat-footed. But, they do catch a lot of birds that way. It's one of their hunting strategies. So I wouldn't doubt that they're not doing that very thing. All right. Anyway, I wanted to make sure I mentioned.
They said that the average weight on a buffalo is 1,200 pounds.
Thank you, Kay. I wonder if that's average weight, including cows, because they are smaller. This other guy, I was going to talk about these. I meant to see how many different species of zebras I could find, but I just put one picture up. There's at least 4 different species that live on the plains down there where you're going to be, I think.
Yeah, 2 that the guy that we're going with tells us about. One of them's kind of a mountain zebra, and one of them lives out on the prairie.
Was that the critter we were talking about? No, that wasn't it. We were talking about talking about hunting something. We'd trade out one for the other one. Can't remember what it was now. Anyway, this guy at the bottom of the page is a little guy. He's a blue Duick.
Diker.
Well, they didn't spell it that way, but that may be how it's pronounced. It's like Duike.
No, yeah, I don't know.
But he's a small guy anyway. And then I can't remember. Is that an Impala at the top, or what's the big one?
No, I don't know what that species of antelope is there.
Okay, but
That's the cool thing I think about this trip is I'm gonna get over there and like I don't have a clue what that thing is. I'm trying to learn them all. Are you falling asleep?
Well, I'm just sitting here not doing anything, and I might have. I mean, I might be. I'm having trouble today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, we got pangolas here, or I'm probably not saying that right. But you talk about an armored beast. Now that's an old timey looking animal there, and got at one point blamed for the COVID virus. I think they thought they were getting this from eating these things or handling them. I guess they're probably a little bit like eating a armadillo. And I put him with an aardvark species up there because they're all anteaters. And here's a tip off on the bottom on besides his nose. Look at those front claws. He has got some serious diggers on his fingers up there.
The poor pangolin. Blame for everything.
Well, pangolin, yeah. And these are just some rodents I put in here for the heck of it, because what would be a Tennessee Shines Saturday morning without a squirrel? This guy at the top's not a Ditka.
That's a Hyrax.
Hyrax, yeah, Hyrax. The one on the upper right here with the blaze on its nose is a dune mole, I think, or reason I don't have my notes up, so I had to reboot my computer this morning. And I hadn't opened everything back up. And then we got a basic rat down, some kind of a grass rat down here at the bottom. So, I mean, they got a lot of animals that are a lot like ours, just different size, shapes, maybe names, but they're related. And I could not do it without at least one meerkat. And this little mouse guy.
Go back to the Hyrax.
Okay.
So that it ain't a rodent. It's not even.
Oh, he's not a rodent?
No, he's more closely related to elephants than he is to a rodent.
Oh, I thought they had him listed as a rodent in the file I looked at.
Which is, he's in his own family, and they're actually remotely related to elephants, which is weird.
Well, that's at least 3 really strange animals that are related to elephants. Hippos, no, hippos are related to a horse, aren't they?
Yeah.
More than, but there's something else that's related to an elephant that's not anything like an elephant. And then these little guys.
Man, Kathy.
What are peccaries related to?
Make some Play-Doh?
Peccaries?
We're gonna make Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Javelina?
Yeah, javelina. They're not related to pigs.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they are, but aren't they related to something else, closer to something else that's not even a...
No.
No, okay.
Their closest living relatives are pigs, and people keep.
We need a recipe for Play-Doh.
I don't know, mistaking them for being related to something else, and it's like, no, their closest living relative are the suids, and there's Tassus suid. I know them. I don't know these creatures. What's that thing up in the corner?
This one?
Yeah, that white stripe thing.
Well, that's what I was saying was a dune mole or a sand mole or something like that. Hang on, let me look that up again.
So is it a mole or is it a rodent?
Well, it was listed as a rodent.
We have alum, we have
Hang on a minute. I knew you'd catch me doing something.
Well, that's just, I mean, moles aren't related to rodents and shrews aren't related to rodents.
I thought these guys might be, but I mean, they were just in that. I can't remember now where I pulled that. I was pulling
It's a
up.
wild looking little creature, whatever it is.
Yeah, it is. That little mouse guy on this page, no, I ain't got to him yet. This guy here in the corner, he's an acacia rat.
So what's that cool little long-nosed creature that was on that other page?
I'll tell you in just a minute. I'm going to see if I can find this guy first. I want to see if I can find him again.
You boys need to go away. You're aggravating me. Go on.
Well, where's my list? Where's my
Rocky,
list?
go on. Go, buddy.
Well, I can't find it. Maybe. They've got cane rats, and cane rats get pretty big.
Well, I didn't mean to stall us, so.
It's all right. I think they call it a Cape. Okay, here's my confusion. It's a Cape mole rat.
Oh, it's a mole rat.
Yeah, that's what was throwing me off. But man, like they've got one.
Some of them are one of the grossest looking animals on the planet. Is a naked mole rat.
I've seen a naked mole rat. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of a hideous looking little guy.
So they're okay. Never mind. They're mole rats. That's why because they've got rodent dentures or teeth. The big chompers up front. So anyway, that's just some of the things you might could see that might just be running through camp, and you don't want a lot of these guys around your camp because then bodies come in to hunt them. This guy, let me see if I can pull up his title. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. I have to look it up. He's kind of endangered, though. They're I saw a list of endangered critters.
Is that elephant shrew?
No, I don't think that's what they called him. Seems like it was it started with an S.
Sandby.
Okay. There's a golden mole also. It's on the TNE list. Come on, open. Well, hell. Pardon me. Let's see if it was in the Kruger National Park book. Wow, there's some lot rhinos. Big. Well, of course, they always name all the big guys like the black rhinos and the Endangered mammals. It seemed a lot easier to find these guys earlier tonight. Okay, I got to get a drink. I can't. My mouth's dry. Mark, well, he's not in here, is he? He is right though. It is a form of an elephant shrew, but it's called a Senji. I'm trying to figure out which one he is. It might be a rock Senji, Western rock Senji. And I could probably look up that endangered trust and find him. It might be a short nose. That's what it is. It's a short snouted Senji. That's what they call it, short snouted. But some people, it does say that some people call them, well, where'd it go? Short snouted or short snouted elephant shrew. So they are in the elephant shrew family. My bad. My apologies. I don't remember the last time I was this drowsy during the show in a long time. I'm going to have to take a nap. Okay, let's see here. Let me get back on my list. Anyway, everybody knows about meerkats. Brenda used to sit and watch Meerkat. What was that show? Meerkat Palace or Meerkat Mansion or something. It was kind of a neat show because these guys are sort of funny. Mark, you're correct. It is in the elephant shrew family, and I'm 99% sure this one was a short snouted Senji, Sengi, or a short snouted elephant shrew. So they call it both. I'd read it as a Senji before and didn't see the elephant shrew part. So, but he is in that family or that group. And this is the acacia mouse down here.
More random, useless knowledge.
More random use. Well, but won't you be impressive if you can?
I will be impressed if I see one of those.
Well, that's true. And these are just some other various. I thought this guy was cool.
That's cool. Is that a skunk?
No, it's a rat. Or they call it a rat.
Again, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, isn't it though? I can't remember, but it seems like that thing's got either venomous spines on it somewhere, probably under its tail or around its tail.
Great.
Or it's got a bite. I don't know if it hurt. Well,
great. It'll be like, oh, pick it up.
Yeah, grab that one by the tail. I don't know. I don't know what this one is in the left corner, but he's getting close, damn close to being a flying squirrel of some sort or another. Looks to me like. And the one here in the middle is some sort of a kangaroo type rat. I can't remember what he was called. But anyway. And then, I skipped right past these guys. And I got some shrews, or a shrew. And I got a striped mouse, I think they call this one at the top. I don't remember what these little guys down here were.
Well, so Len and Terry, when they were over there on that last spring, they found quills of those big porcupines all over the place.
What, just like lying around all over?
Yeah, just like lying around like something had got into a porcupine, and those spines are like that long.
Yeah.
And they're like as big around as a pencil or thicker.
Wow.
And you, like, if you're a lion or something, you get one of them and you know you got something.
And I bet they do.
Yeah, they found all kinds of cool stuff, just wandering around through the bush over there, and baboon skulls and all kind of cool stuff. And they made kind of a still life out of all those items and took photographs of them. You are going to sleep. Brenda,
well, I'm
come in
listening.
there and knock the snot out of him.
Well, I was listening that time, though. I was hearing you, but I was probably going to nod out and take a nap. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
Too early to take a nap. Drink more coffee.
I've had about a gallon. You see me drink coffee, you know. Well, anyway, those guys that's a small one, but you're right. When they grow up, they're big. And
Yeah.
and they
That's a sizable animal.
yeah, and they rattle those. They can shake and rattle those spines. It's as a warning. It's kind of a neat sound. I've heard big ones recorded make the noise, and I don't think they're quite as hard to handle from a handler's perspective as our porkies are.
Right.
I think our porkies have spines further up and can get you now. The big ones are in the back like this, but American porcupines shoot their spines out about 40 feet with strings attached, like spotty. No, they don't. No, they don't. I'm kidding. That's just what some people say.
My wife took a video of me catching one in the yard.
Oh, yeah.
And we had just bought this place, and I raked him I caught him in the corner of the yard and put him in a big plastic Tupperware or Rubbermaid trash can and turned the trash can up. And I'm like, that's how you catch a porcupine.
Yeah, that's right. Very carefully. And in a trash can. Thank you, Kay. I'll look at that in a minute. Tina, I'm looking back, and you said, I'm surprised you don't have a groundhog. Well, I've thought about that, Tina. My uncle used to have one. They actually
make great pets.
Country folk have them fairly regularly because they are pretty mild-mannered, and they can make a great pet. They can bite the hell out of you, too, but they can make a good pet. I think I know what my noise is. He just made noise again. He's dreaming or something. Probably want me to shut up. I wish I had one, Carol. Maybe if I get me a house out in the country, I can start having things like groundhogs and can't have a porcupine. There ain't none out here, but down here, but
armadillo.
Now that's possible.
I know.
You do know that, don't you?
Yeah.
We damn sure have armadillos now.
They're moving north.
I don't know if they'll be.
Before long, Tina will have armadillos.
Yeah, before long you will, Tina.
We picked one up on the highway north between Casper and Buffalo, Wyoming.
No, really?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, stop. And we stopped. We were on our way to a meeting in Sheridan. And sure enough, it was a dead armadillo. And I'm sure he had jumped up in under an undercarriage on a semi or something.
Well, that makes sense.
And then fell out. You know how when you scare them, they jump straight up in the air. Like not unlike a caracal. And if you get run over by a semi truck and you jump straight over or straight up, you might end up in it.
Taking a ride. Yeah, that's possible. I hadn't thought about that. That'd be another way for them to get around. But you reckon they could survive up there?
Oh no,
I didn't think so. That's what I was thinking.
No way. They die. Their populations really decline when it gets cold in Texas.
Yeah.
they a few years back they had a real cold snap in South Texas and all over the state, but their numbers really plummeted during that time period. So they can handle a little bit of cold for a short period of time. And they just burrow underground and, stay hid. But
Tina's giving us a little bit of Puxatawny Phil trivia here. He said the Phil they had before, the one they've got now, apparently was a mean little biter. And the one they have now is pretty calm. I watched them handling that one yesterday. That's Phil, and he seemed to be quite mellow. He didn't seem to either that or they handed him a gummy, a gummy to eat or something to calm him down. But
well, my buddy from Ohio sent me a message. He was all excited that it was going to be a early spring, mild early spring, because Phil said it was.
yeah, he did. I watched that. They actually made I know they've done this for years, but they kind of made a real show out of it too. The way they do that. He picks a scroll, or mentally delivers a scroll to the brain of the handler, the master, the whistle pig master. And so he knows which scroll, and he picked it up and read it. It sounded real official and everything. I mean, it was kind of neat. There's a question down here about squirrels and me telling stories. Tina says, don't be telling stories. Well, actually, go ahead. I need to, Tina, so I don't fall asleep. But what stories were you talking about? The ones where we were making up things about? But we really do have armadillos. By the way, Tina does the squirrel in the slideshow count and the official squirrel count. And Tina says, yeah. No, that's the field. Nope, Carol. International squirrels are not counted. I think that's why the squirrel count has dwindled significantly. Tim puts them in on purpose. Yeah, that's right. If they're in the show, they don't count. Which is, you're right. That's knocked the squirrel count way down. I probably ought to not do that anymore. Counting squirrels was kind of fun. And it kind of gave me and Mark more
wandering around material.
Yeah. I was going to say artistic license to, make stuff up or tell tall tales, but that's the way to put it. Anyway, moving on with the show. So I thought we'd go into some birds, and I'm going to tell you something. They've got a lot of birds. I didn't even scratch the surface. And that's when I knew I'd bit off more than I could chew.
Well, so Terry and Lynn were in South Africa for 10 days. They were at the place for 10 days up on the Limpopo River. And Lynn's quite the birder. And she got 159 new species of birds.
In a little over a week.
159.
Wow.
That's a lot of different kinds of, and birds that like, what in the world is that thing?
That's impressive. They got a lot of big
birds. They got a really cool bird called a scarlet bishop that you can't even, you wouldn't even think anything in nature could be that crimson. It's just ridiculous.
Well, the guy on the far right here is a hornbill, and I don't remember which kind, but I don't know if this is mating plumage and coloration or if he's like that year round.
Well, and they're like, there's a few species where we're going, and they're like a dime a dozen. It'd be like seeing a magpie here, a blue jay at home, just like, well, there's another hornbill, there's another horn, and they're just, when you first get there, it's like, oh my God, look, hornbills. And the locals,
you're just ignoring them.
And the locals are like, yeah, whatever.
Tina, I'm going to have to I'm gonna have to either agree with you or take you to take it to task a little bit. I mean, when you think about it, meteorologists are only 50% of the time. That's probably true. And Phil is only right 40, and that's probably true. But think about that a minute. Phil's a poor little groundhog, and he's 40% right. Meteorologists have computers and satellites, and other meteorologists help them do it. Poor little Phil is just one little groundhog brain. So
Got them little
40%
got
not
them
bad.
maps with the lines on it.
Yeah, he don't have none of that.
And algebra equations and whatnot.
He probably can't draw backwards on the screen, you know. I mean, he's just all by himself. Are you going to be close to the? Kay's asking if you're going to be close to the Dino. I'm going to butcher this name, but Dino.
I don't know where that is, Kay. I will be. If you look at where Botswana and Zimbabwe come together, there's a river that splits them kind of along their border and right where they meet. And I'll be about 10 miles south of that in the Limpopo River Valley in South Africa. So it'd be right in the very northern end of South Africa.
I might try to put a map up, Kay. If I don't go drag too long here, I might put a map up of it. I've got it marked on a map. Actually, it's not probably the most famous reserve it's near is Kruger. I don't think you're that far from the Kruger Preserve, are you? Which is pretty big.
Yeah, and they do. These guys do. They'll, if you want to like go see the reserve one day instead of going hunting or going and sitting at a water hole or whatever, you can go do that, or go see crocs and hippos on the river, which we'll certainly take advantage of that.
He says it's about an hour from Jayburg. I wonder if it's north, south. Kay, do you know which direction it is from Jayburg?
So we'll be 5 hours straight north of Jayburg.
Yeah, up past Peoria and up in that area. I'll put it on a map and maybe I can find that preserve, Kay. We'll see if we can figure out where it's at, where he's going.
There's a little town up there, Kay, that's called All Days. And we'll be just northwest of the town of All Days.
You're absolutely correct, Tina. That's why she keeps saying, look at the calendar. On the side note, the Farmer's Almanac is right more than both. They don't use computers or scrolls. Yeah, they use black and brown woolly bugs, among other things. That's what we used to go by.
And squirrel nest diameters and how high the bald-faced hornet nests were hanging off the ground.
And how high
and beaver lodges.
And beaver lodges and smoke.
Yeah.
Somebody used to know predicted weather by the smoke, how high the smoke is off the ground when it leaves the chimney.
Whether it just hangs on the ground or goes up and it tells you the barometric pressure.
Well, yeah. I mean, they can all that stuff works if you're from the country. That's how they teach you to do weather. And they do. I've known a lot of farmers that did go by the almanac on when to plant stuff and when to harvest stuff, and I mean it actually still used. We
have ranchers out here that go by it, swear by it. I mean that. And then they also have a deal like, okay, we're seeing lots of skunks on the road during the fall, and that means the winter's going to be hard.
Say that one again. Count skunk.
It's just like dead skunks on the road. Like look at the numbers of dead skunks, and like if you see lots and lots of them, the winter's going to be bad, and it's usually right.
I have to think that probably is right,
and I don't know why.
Even back here. Okay, so I tried to divide these birds up, and I have names for all these critters, but I just don't. You know what I could do? Well,
that's an anhinga, and that's a heron of some species.
Yeah, it's seeing I don't have its name written down because I didn't.
They got anhingas in Florida.
Yeah, but they didn't call it an anhinga over there. They have a different name for it, which I
But
can't.
it's the same. It's in the same family of birds,
Yeah, I was going
and that's a heron. You could
This
color
is-
him a little different, and he'd be a great blue heron.
well, I think, yeah, and I'd be willing to bet they're the same. He's a subspecies of the same bird. I mean, he looks just like it. The only thing I don't see on him is those long feathers that hang up off are they off the back of their head or their tail?
They have tons of herons,
Yeah.
including greenback herons or little green herons.
Oh,
like
do
these
they?
out here. Yeah,
Are they the same as ours?
just like them. So it's there's some birds that live worldwide. You know,
Yeah.
barn owls are a dime a dozen over there.
Yeah. Barn owls are
They're
about
exactly
four
the
right
same
there.
bird we have here.
So anyway, that's why I put these two together, and I wish I could open my file, and I can't get to it right now. And we got a rail over here, which we also have versions of in this part of the country. You guys have anything like that out there?
Yeah, we have Sora rails and
Do you?
Soras and oh heck, we got one more. I don't
Probably
remember
not
which. I
Virginia's.
don't remember which one right now. And then we've got. I mean, there's like that looks like almost like it's a plover of some kind at the bottom. Looks like an avocet almost.
Yeah, but he don't have the curved bill.
Right, but he's in that same order of birds.
Yeah, probably. What do you think? I can't remember. I got my names covered up. I apologize, guys.
They've
What
got
about
a spoonbill over there.
Well, this is a black stork in the middle up here. And I don't remember what this guy's called. I can't remember what he's a crane, I think, not an egret.
Yeah, and they've got about 4 species of cranes, and I don't know what that bird at the bottom would be. Something that we don't have.
No, and I looked it up. I got the name of it here, but I just, like I said, I've got it covered up right now and can't get to it. So we got that, and then we get down here and we got some cool birds. Well, I've got that one in there twice.
There's
This
a hoopoe.
That's exactly what that is. You, how do you know him already?
Because he's so odd looking.
You're talking about this one, right?
That one right there.
Yeah. What kind of? I mean, he's got a bee or something in his beak. What kind of critter is? I mean, is he an insect grabber? I mean, that bill doesn't look like a flying bird or that he would catch them in flight, although he might. It looks more like he reaches in and grabs them.
Don't know that part, but
He's
they're
neat.
they're really common in the thorn scrub. And then
What do you
that
reckon
looks like a
what's that blackbird that's yellow bellied and everything like that? That's probably a yellow bellied blackbird. No, I don't know that really.
looks like an oriole of some kind.
It is an oriole. I can't remember his first name, but it is an oriole.
You were laughing about my wife talking to our brother-in-law,
Yeah, that sticks with me.
and he said, what are those black birds out there on your bird feeder with the bright yellow heads?" And Shauna goes, "Well, that's a yellow-headed blackbird." And he goes, "Smart ass."
Which it was.
And it's exactly what it was. And so I had to go get the bird book to show him.
I think that was one of that, some kind of a sandpiper. That one that I'm not
It
sure.
did look like that, Tina.
Like I said, I've got the names. Now these two guys, this is our
Those are bustards.
yeah, this is our Corey bustard up here at the top that we talked about a little bit last week. And this one down here, I think they call this one a blue bustard. Not bastard, bustard.
Yeah, that Corey bustard is the largest flying bird in Africa.
Yeah,
40
this picture,
maybe in the world. It's 40.
yeah, because this is the largest bird, non-flying bird is the ostrich. And this is the largest flying bird in the world. And it just happens to be in Africa. And this picture is deceiving. This bird is damn near big as Mark. I mean, it's long. If you hung him up by his feet and measured him, I don't know how long he'd be. I mean,
A big bird.
he's a big bird, and he weighs 40 pounds or so, which may not sound like much, but when you start in a bird, that's a lot. A turkey, wild turkeys, a big wild turkey is in the low to mid 20s. I mean, a 23, 24 pound wild turkey is getting big. If you get something up around 24, 25, that's a big turkey. This guy's 40, maybe more. That's a good sized bird. You wouldn't want that hitting your jet airplane in the windshield. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they get up that kind. Well, I don't know. They may get high altitude. I don't know how much they move around. I mean, in Africa, they probably don't have to go too far since it don't snow much down there. And here we got some shore type birds. This is a petrel at the top, and I can't remember which variety he is, but I love the fact I love how they use surface tension on water to walk on water. Wow, what is this guy? I don't know if he's a skew. Is it a skew?
Skua, I'd say.
Maybe. And this guy is another version of a cormorant. I can't remember what they call it, but it's not just a black or a crown like we have here. It's something different, but it's obviously the same animal, just a little different coloration or feather shape or whatever. And up here in the top are, what are they called? They look like toasted marshmallows from the back. Like, what are they? Damn it, I can't remember that. That's driving me. I'm gonna have to get my bird pages back out here somehow. What you can really see the bird dino connection in that. Oh yeah, you can. I mean, think about this. It's not hard to think about this guy as a velociraptor or something. And I don't know if you've ever watched. Well, I'm sure most of you have some Animal Planet or Nat Geo. Brenda's probably asleep because I hadn't heard any word out of her in a few minutes. But that bird, they've got a big bird, cassowary, that is very dinosaur-like and kind of ornery and, kind of the bird that probably peck your brains out. But it's a non-flying bird. It's not so much smaller than that bustard, but it's not a flying bird. I was talking about cassowaries.
Yeah, they're not as big as an ostrich, but they're
big.
They're way bigger than a bustard.
They're very.
But they don't fly.
Yeah, they're very dinosaur looking.
And they would definitely hunt you down and.
Yeah, they're interesting critters.
And they're in Australia and some of those islands.
Yeah,
over there.
And maybe in the Indian Ocean some.
Hi, buddy.
Albatross. This is an
albatross. See, we won't see any of this because we're going to be in the desert.
Yeah, if you went to the beach shoreline, you could see these. That's the only reason I put them in there.
That's a really cool looking plover at the bottom there.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Like I love how it's the stance on it.
Like a black and white, like a pied killdeer.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Cool thing about albatrosses is they, these guys are big. They're very awkward on the ground, but once they get in the air, they fly. And I've read that they can fly around the world basically and never touch land. They just
never sat down.
And they can fly for days or weeks or months and just not sit down. They glide a lot. Their wings are really made for that, and they're long and thin, and they just get up and go. And I don't think they flock much, unless maybe it's nesting season. I know they do then, but I think mostly they travel around by them singularly, don't they?
I have to look much about them.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up again. I know Guam is a big nesting area for one of the albatrosses. I've heard them talk about that because of the military base out there. And here we got This is an Antarctic South Africa penguin. I think this one is called an Antarctic. I don't know. This may be the South African penguin. I'll have to look that up too. But if it is, they're getting kind of scarce. They're on the. I think they're on the threatened list, if not on the endangered list.
Well, they've got 4 species in the country.
Do they? Okay.
Just in South Africa, but of course they live on the coast, and
Right.
they live down there where the white sharks fly.
Oh, well, that's right. Yeah. I guess if I had to be a bird or anything like that and live with white sharks, a penguin might be the thing to be because you can fly fast and in the water. But I don't think I'd want to be I really wouldn't want to be a food type for a white shark. These 2 guys, I don't remember their name. Damn it, their name, but I can't find my cursor. There it is. Finally, there. Maybe I can control myself. But that top guy up there looks kind of like, to me, I mean, he compares with like a flicker almost.
And they've got a bunch of woodpeckers.
Yeah, they do. And that bottom guy, they've got a lot of birds with longer bills, seems like, and like that one, and that colorful one I had on earlier had that big long hook bill, and but I guess it's so they can specialize like in this, the flowers they're feeding on. I think they're getting bugs out of the middle of flowers and/or nectar if that's what they
Right.
choose. And these are sort of what I kind of classified in my mind as upland game birds. We got a quail. We got something that looks like some sort of a prairie chicken. We got a lemon dove, is what they call that dove up there. And then we got 2 species of guinea fowl over there that I guess fly wild, right?
Yeah, they're super abundant. They're like way common. And go back. That
top,
bird in the bottom left corner is a sand grouse.
Okay, a sand grouse.
It's not a grouse at all. It's more closely related to doves. And then that bird in the middle, I think, is one of their quail or franklins or something. And
I think it's a quail. I think they might have even been the common quail or something.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty simple name.
I think that's one of their little quail, and they just got a whole bunch of species. They got a lot of game birds, a ton of them.
Yeah. Well, and the guinea is a game bird, right? I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna hunt those.
And over here, they're not. I mean, they're
I can't wait.
Sort of.
They kept me awake so many nights at my grandpa's house.
You're gonna get some revenge.
I can't wait to hunt guineas where they're native and wild.
I don't know if we said fruit chicken or not, Tina. You talking about one of us? It's always possible. I don't remember saying it, but
you said chicken. You said prairie chicken or something.
Oh, okay. I did. I might have said that.
But that was that sand grouse. I think you're talking about.
And that top guinea is a hooded guinea, I believe, and the bottom one is a southern guinea. And they do have their spottation. That for a made up word. Their spottation, it does look a little bit different.
So you don't have the one that's the most abundant, which is the helmeted guinea fowl.
And that's the top one?
I think that's a vulturine, maybe not.
Maybe it is.
I don't remember them having blue heads like that, but it might be.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'm not sure. So which ones do we have over here that we have on farms and stuff?
Helmeted guinea fowl.
Helmeted, okay.
And they're just like Terry said, you'd see a flock of 1,000 of the things.
Wow. Wow.
They were everywhere. you couldn't hardly walk to the, they were just constantly doing that, that noise they make.
I don't know.
Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching.
Tina, where you and Chuck grew up, or Carol, you guys, well, Carol might have been more in town, but did people have these things on farms? Because we do down, a lot of people have them down here. I'm not sure if they buy them because they think they're pretty, or they say, and I don't know if this has been studied scientifically, but they say that they'll keep your yard and stuff clear of ticks, and because they eat a lot of small bugs. So if they eat ticks, I'd have 100 of them. I mean,
and that's what. So my dad's, Les that works at Dad's shop.
Yeah,
he's got dozens of them, and that's why he has them. And he doesn't like them, but they keep the tick. Ohio's got that. Southern Ohio's got such bad tick problem now.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't have ticks on his place, and he just lets them roam.
Yeah.
Well, when we bought this place, there was 5 here, and I didn't want them, and I don't know if the owls finally got them, or the coyotes, or if the people in town took them, or what. But
I don't know if you have them. Do you have to have a separate guinea coop for them, or will they roost with the chickens?
They'll roost right with the chickens. But they normally, the ones that my grandparents always had.
Well, they get in the trees.
They didn't roost in the barn with the chickens at all. They would go up a tree just like they were still wild birds.
That's true. They do. I forgot about that. Anyway,
and they're supposed to eat like little snakes and things like, which are harmless. Most of the little snakes you have like back in farm country are totally harmless little snakes. But
well, you know how it is back here. Back in the country, everything. The only snake that I ever knew anybody wanted around was a big rat snake or black snake, and they'd keep those. Everything else was fodder for the hoe.
Well, I heard that ringnecks were breeding with the copperheads, so.
Well, that's true.
I used to. Troy Purcell's mother used to give me a hard time because I was always catching snakes and getting her boy to catch snakes.
Right.
Oh, those things are breeding with copperheads and rattlesnakes, and you boys are going to get bit by one someday. It's like, well, I get bitten all the time.
You get bit a lot. You've been bit plenty, just not by
bitten by thousands of snakes. So.
I know people that have told me many times that copperheads and black racers were crossing.
Yeah.
Which was a really scary thing for people because, black racers are fast and kind of ornery. And, mixing with a copperhead made them doubly dangerous. Anyway, folks, just so you know, I'll go ahead and put a public service announcement. That does not happen.
It is physically and biologically impossible.
It does not happen. No matter what somebody tells you, it does not happen. And I think these are kind of neat birds.
I hope I get to see one.
And I'm trying to think of his name.
Secretary bird.
And if you've ever been to Disney World, or if you've ever been to a place that's got a bird show, almost every bird show I've ever been to that shows owls and hawks and different kinds of bird species to people, they usually have a secretary bird that'll run out on stage, and they'll throw him a fake lizard, and he'll sit and take that lizard and walk over, and they'll have a rock on stage and throw it down, and they'll they take lizards literally and throw them against rocks to, I guess, kill them and soften them up, and before they eat them. And if you throw them they do it all the time for these shows. They like show them because they like to do. That's how they feed. What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing about him tenderizing his lizard.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what they do.
He's like smashing that thing. It's like that.
They'll
It's
just
like,
rear their head up and throw it down on a rock. You know.
it's like that big. I don't even know what it would be. It's a big raptor or a big vulture type creature down in South America that eats bones.
Oh yeah.
And they fly way, way high in the sky and drop their bone down into the rocks below them
And break them up.
and break them up. And they literally, they don't just eat marrow; they eat the bone,
They eat the whole thing.
which is cool. But anyway,
Then
that was a squirrel, Tina. There was.
Tina
a squirrel
says they
for you.
like tenderized dinner. Well, you guys might. I mean, Tina, I don't know. You guys might have seen them at Disney World at Animal Kingdom because I've seen them there. The secretary bird. Now, the bird on the right is just a nice picture, but that's a harrier, and we have a very similar species here. I'm sure that it's probably the same bird, but different subspecies. Because they call it something different. It might even be the same bird, just a different name. I didn't look at scientific names. I didn't want to try to pronounce stuff I can't remember how to pronounce. But he is a harrier, and harriers are cool. You can always tell a harrier because one, they'll just glide low over fields when they're hunting, not very high at all usually. But they've also got a big white rump spot. And they'll bank and turn as they're hunting, and you can look, and if he rolls over right at the base of his tail and his back, there's a spot, it looks like it's about that big. It's white feathers in it. So, that white spot is on all of these, all harriers that I'm aware of, certainly the ones here, and this guy's got one. I didn't get a picture of that, but I saw pictures of him rolled over. I should have put two on there and showed both. I'm not sure if Mark went to break up a dog fight or if he had something else going on. There he is back.
I'm back. Sorry.
I was saying this bottom bird is a harrier.
Yep.
And I don't know if
Looks
subspecies.
just like the one we have.
It does, but they don't call it. Well, I don't even know what we call ours other than a harrier.
Northern harrier.
Do they call it a northern? I think they might call theirs a southern. I think it could be the same bird, but Tina says, yes, I have. Oh, and I don't know. I'm trying to get over there, Tina, but I can't find my cursor keeps disappearing on me today. Oh, you know what I've done? I've slowed
You turned it into a circle thing.
Well, I turned it down speed-wise. So, yes, I have, and I don't know, Mark. We were talking about the African bird tenderizing his dinner. Then we related it to a species here at home so we can relate in some way. Well, the harrier at the bottom is the one we have here. We don't have a secretariat bird, although there is a bird kind of similar to that, I think, in Mexico or South America.
A caracara.
Yeah, caracara. Yeah.
We have them in Texas and Arizona and New Mexico.
I'm not doing the right thing here.
But they're not related.
Well, yeah, but they're just kind of big and run around and catch stuff. Maybe it's caracaras I'm thinking about that beat the lizards on the rocks, but one of them does.
Well, caracaras are carrion eaters, so they wouldn't do that.
Ah, okay. Is that where the name comes from?
I don't think so. It's cara, C-A-R-A, and then second word, C-A-R-A.
Well, yeah, I thought, but I didn't know if somebody had just shortened that up to caracara from carrion eater or something. You never know about these things. Besides that, who knows what Latin means because it's a dead language. I told you about that. We had a guy this squirrel, Tina. We had a guy in our Wildlife and Fisheries Society group that went to conclave or whatever else they call a big one where they all get together. They used to have state meetings and then sometimes and national meetings. And they have quiz bowls where, different groups, teams from different schools face off. And we had a quiz bowl team. And some Latin word came up, and I don't remember, or some species came up, and you're expected to answer with the Latin name and maybe the common name too, but particularly the Latin name. And he pronounced it, and the judge said incorrect answer because you mispronounced the word. And he got up, he raised his hand and said, point of order. He said, Latin is a dead language, so how in the hell do you know how it's pronounced? We, we're kind of on our own here. And I don't know if he got the points or not, but he did try. And I think he has a point myself. Okay, there again, we got some colorful birds. There's that bird that was on the front. I probably used him a couple of times. And I really thought this guy in the bottom corner down here was cool looking. I like that big bright spot on his gullet or his neck. This guy in the top corner kind of takes the bacon because he's gorgeous.
Just look at those colors. That just doesn't, you wouldn't even think that would occur in nature. Maybe a tropical fish, but not in a bird.
Yeah. And how does that, of course, I realize the females aren't as colorful, but how does a bird hide in nature that can be that color? Anyway, and this group of dirty looking birds in the middle here are actually pink flamingos, African version. And they have had, I guess they still do, huge flocks of those things that, that move around and migrate up and down, I guess, following the water. Yeah, I guess, Tina, it's different colors of flowers and things that they must match, and they're that color usually, of course, to draw a female. They gotta look good, but I don't know how they hide from any predator that would be after them. And pretty much anything bigger than you are is a predator when you're a small bird. But I just think that's a neat looking bird. And if you've never seen them, down in the lower left corner, those are oriole nests or weaver birds. And there are some, it seems to me like there's an African bird that weaves nests, and some other birds parasitize them or take over part of the nest. And they just sort of live symbiotically. I'll throw that in there. Mark's not even here to appreciate that big old scientific word. Well, a medium-sized scientific word.
What are you scientificating on?
So I said that weaver birds or orioles or certain kinds of orioles weave nests like those in the left corner. But I was thinking that over there's some other birds that actually live will actually parasitize, or not really parasitize, but move in and take over some of those nests or part of the year. And I was thinking that they live together part of the year. And I said symbiotic. I used the word symbiotic. Well,
but that you got to give and take in that relationship.
Well, okay, but still, they live together. He caught me being scientific. Yeah, he did. Now he's going to rebut me.
No, I ain't. But I was just going to say we have our own version of that bird, of some of those birds. If you look outside and see the English sparrow sitting on your bird feeder,
yeah,
they're a weaver finch.
Are they a weaver finch? I didn't realize that.
Yep, that's why they stuff your soffits and everything in your house full of crap.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. Well, anyway, moving along to the next group of critters. I believe they're slithery ones. Yeah, they are. This link up here gives you some good information about these snakes. And these are all three of these are mambas. And I mean, just look at that dude. Look how he's coiled up in that head laying there. Like, I mean, don't that look like he looks like he's built for speed? He's ready to pounce. But I believe the black is the most poisonous one of the bunch, and they are all over southern Africa. So watch them.
And they're big.
And they're big like cobras, long. They get 10 or 12 feet long or more.
Yeah, they killed one when they were down there, and it was the only snake species they killed.
Really?
That they intentionally kill on that property.
Or mambas.
Are just black mambas. And
Well, the others aren't as aggressive.
they'll make bull elephants run.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt.
They're one of the most venomous snakes on the planet.
Yeah.
And
They
they're
don't mind using it.
they're great big and they're really fast. And I mean like coach whip or racer fast. And they're very aggressive. And so they have no tolerance for them, most of the people down there, and they're really, really, really common. So
Yeah.
they're the grains are like they're highly venomous. That you don't want to get bitten by one, but they're pretty calm and they're arboreal and they're not on the ground very often. And
Yeah, both these green looking ones, the one on the right is a black Jameson blacktail or blacktail Jameson. I saw it written a couple different ways, but both of them are almost obligate, arboreal obligates. In other words, they live in the trees and they hunt in the trees, and they pretty much stay that way. So they're not considered as dangerous. But the black mamba, and honestly, they're not. I think I've got another picture here because that one probably looks obvious that it's a black mamba, but that's not why. This is why.
their throat.
That mouth and throat area is black as coal, and that's why they're called black mambas.
Yeah, that's a way more typical looking speed.
Yeah, and here's a black. This is what they normally look like right here, more often than the other. And this one, years ago, this one threw me for a loop because in this country, every poisonous snake we have is what I'd call cat-eyed or slit-eyed, that's one way you can tell a poisonous snake in this country, but you can't trust that overseas because that guy right there will kill you dead in a hurry, and he's ground-eyed as he can be. But they're mad, and they raise up and they can flare out a little bit like a cobra, not as much as a cobra, but they can a little bit. And
they'll reach up and stand 4 or 5. They'll look you right in your face.
yeah, that they will.
And it's not a pretty creature to encounter. And the one that they found when my friends were over there, one of the trackers, his name's Mechanic. He was driving the Land Rover, and they're driving down a 2-track road, and here's this black mamba stretched across the road, and he stomped on the gas and ran up there and ran it over, and then backed over it, and then ran it over again, and then backed over it, and then got out and shot it with a pistol. And it was 11 feet long.
Gee.
And big around as your arm. It was a a huge animal.
Yeah, and they don't get like about baboons or rattlesnakes or copperheads. They don't get fat and flat, looking that triangle shape they're more of a round rat looking snake in a way.
Right, but when you're 11 or 12 feet long,
Yeah, you're big around your arm.
But
But I mean, I think that's why that makes them faster than. I mean, rattlesnakes and copperheads are not that fast compared to a lot of other snakes. These guys they're built for speed, so they move right along, and And you guys be careful with them down there. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're-
it's the most feared snake in the whole continent of
Yeah.
Africa.
and
and
they've
it-
got
and it's-
boom slings and things
And
like
it is
that.
not the one that causes the most fatalities. That would be like the puff adder.
Yeah,
but-
I got a picture of that too. Right
Yeah,
here.
there he is.
Yeah, there he is.
And there's a gaboon viper, but I won't see those. I
No.
could see puff adders, but not gaboons.
Are they too far north or south or
They live up in the forest country up at the Congo.
so they're higher up? They're listed as a possible southern, but they're higher up. I tell you what, to me, that's about as scary as a mamba in a way. I don't know how aggressive they really are, but I've seen them laying, not personally out in the woods, but photos of them laying in the woods or wooded areas with leaves, and you cannot see them.
Yeah,
These-
their head. You can look at the top of that snake's head; it looks like a leaf.
Yeah, literally they do.
With like the shaft of the leaf and everything in it, and they're just invisible. And they get about 5 feet long,
About that big around.
and they're the heaviest viper in the world, and they have the longest fangs of any venomous snake, 2 inches or so.
Jimmy.
Herpetologist at the a studier of reptiles, herpetologist at the St. Louis Zoo was bitten by one of these guys, and a guy named Raymond Ditmars, who was a snake king, found a cocktail of anti-venom because they didn't know how to treat the bite even. And he came over and saved the guy's life. And the guy's name was Marlin Perkins. And he became the Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Yeah.
Little trivia on gaboon vipers is bad mamba jamba.
Yeah.
And that puff adder, so puff adders are really, really common and easily overlooked because of their coloration
And that's the snake.
and most of the population in Africa is still, they're either wearing sandals or going barefoot.
Yeah.
And that's the snake that's responsible for the most venomous bites in Africa and most deaths in Africa.
And famous for the snake that Cleopatra put to her breast and got bitten so she would die with Anthony.
And they live all the way from southern Africa all the way to the Mediterranean. So.
Yeah, they're all over like Egypt and those areas. I mean, I believe there is not this species, but there's a puff adder in England, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, there's a viper, European viper that lives there.
Okay.
It's not really a puff adder, but it's a real mild. It'd be like getting hit by a copperhead, it's venom wise, it's really pretty mild. A lot of people don't ever even seek treatment when they get bitten by it. So
I don't even know why I was self-respecting snake and want to live in that country, but and then we got these beauties. And these guys around these are bodies. These are Edie's.
That's wow.
Look at those big.
I can't wait to see one.
I mean, some of these guys get they get up to 20 feet. They say 18 feet is not terribly uncommon. And I was just reading about these in one of Cathart, what's his name? Crap. You know who I'm talking. Sticks books. And he was talking about one that was like the one laying down there with his mouth open. If that snake, if that croc was, 15 or 16 feet long and as big as they are, he said some of those guys can weigh, he believes they weigh pushing a ton, I think, or at least over 1,000 pounds. I can't remember now exactly the numbers he was calculating, but they get big. And they're man eaters. I mean, they're probably the worst man eaters in Africa with all the lions and cats and, that eat leopards and lions and that sort of thing that eat humans. These guys may be the worst because, and he told stories about how in villages, the women would walk down to the shoreline of the river or whatever, to get water, to wash their clothes, or to do whatever they did. And gators or crocs, would kind of learn those habits. They'd actually be waiting on them when they got down there and just spring out of the water, grab somebody up, and just haul them into the water.
Yeah.
And they don't, what they do is they drag you to the bottom and stick you under a log or something, let you just lay there. And I don't know if these guys do that as much as gators, but I know they take you down and do the old death roll with you, and till you. And when you're drowned, they consume you at their leisure. But they've
Like
had
Eugene's Feist dog.
do what?
Just like Eugene's Feist dog.
Just like Eugene's Feist dog, and I think hippos are supposed to be the deadliest animal. I think the deadliest animal in Africa, but these guys got to be a close second because they're worse than the cats or the buffalo. They're sneaky for one thing, and they can lay in wait for days. They can just, they're just cold blooded and in the sense that they can, sort of just lay there and don't have to do much, catch a little sun, and they're ready to go. And they're kind of like the big salties in Australia. I guess they get that big too, or bigger, or they say they do or think they do. And they're nasty critters too. They don't suffer fools gently, but they're also hard to catch up with. But they talk about them, having favorite hot water holes where people come down to use the water. And good thing about them, I guess, is that they don't have to eat very often on an individual basis. The bad part is there's a shitload of them down there. But they're bodies, that's for sure. And I don't know, you guys probably know this, but crocodiles and alligators, one way you can tell them apart is their mouth. The way their teeth stick out of their mouth and the shape of the nose is different. You can see it's more pointy or somewhat more pointy. Alligators that we have are more round nosed a little bit. And if you saw them side by side, you'd know pretty easily that they were not the same thing. But man, what a big ugly critter that is. Love to see some though, I'll have to admit. Got lizards of all kinds. Can't remember what any of these are. This guy down here is a plated lizard. Both of these are two different kinds of monitor lizards. And these things are pretty much all over Africa. I think one species or another. And they've got, you got variations in Australia and all over parts of Asia, right on up to the Komodo dragons. They're all related. I don't know why. That's another thing. I don't know why anybody'd want like a monitor. No, I've seen Nile monitors, I think, for sale at reptile shows, and I don't know why anybody'd want one. They get pretty big. And iguanas get pretty big in South Florida, and that's why they've got such a problem with them down there. But that's a whole nother, that's a squirrel too.
Oh my God. Just sound like a herd of horses coming through the house.
Yeah. It's your house, not mine. This guy on the right upper right here is a basic rock python, and he's no telling how long and big he is. And actually, they can be bodies too, but they're not like the other ones. But occasionally they do remove some body out of them. And this blue-headed neck lizard may be the same one I had on the other page, but I just think they're neat looking. Both of these, this guy at the bottom is a file-nosed snake, and the one at the top they call a stiletto snake. And these, I think both of these are poisonous, mildly poisonous, but they've got their rear fangs, so they're not really that dangerous to people. You got to let them chew on you for a while to really get to do you any harm. But they're small. They're not. These guys don't get very big. And that was something I didn't know shit about. Excuse me. Until I went to New Mexico with you guys, and we went herping, and there's all kinds of these things, varieties, in that Texas, New Mexico border area down there. You showed me like Texas shovel nose and some kind of night snakes that were just,
and they're venomous.
And they're venomous, but they're little, and nobody ever talks about them. Because nobody ever, I guess, gets bit and dies from them, or maybe
we handled them. We caught them and handled them all the time. And it's like, our herpetology guys like, that's a venomous snake, don't you? And it's like, well, never read that it was, but they are.
Yeah, you don't hear about them, but they got small mouths.
They're a rear fang snake.
And they're small. I mean, they'd have to get your pinky in their mouth or something to chew on it long enough to.
And even the lowly hognose snake is mildly venomous.
The lowly hognose snake. I love hognose snakes.
They're
so funny. They're the comedians of the snake world, I swear. unless they curl up on a bank real quick and do this, and you're in a canoe, and then for a brief moment they're scary as hell.
He said the difference between a gator and a crocodile is one has a pointed nose and the other is hounded by the SEC.
I like that, Tina. Or Kay, I mean.
That's hilarious.
That sounds like a South Carolina joke to me. And what was Tina was saying something was not pretty. Nope, definitely not pretty. I don't know if she's talking about gators or snakes.
Right.
Maybe it's Gaboon.
We were talking about mambas.
Holy mackerel, guys. It's after 1 o'clock. I wanted to put somebody in charge of the clock. And that was the last slide I put together. There's so much more. I mean, I really should start at the first of the week and just work all week. And I could just put birds, have a whole show of nothing but birds. And probably reptiles too. I mean, there's so many more individuals, and I didn't get, like I said, I didn't get time to name all these. And I wish I could have, because I mean, there's just so much more to tell about them. I was going to see if I could pull up that. Hang on, let me open my sheet up here, my cheat sheet, and I'll tell you what some of those are. Like that blue. Well, that was it just says African lizards. Well, we knew that. That's a black-headed oriole, the bright yellow and black bird. Oh, that was a blue crane. I didn't think I'd forget that because I put that in there specifically because of that. That snake in the sand that was really down in the sand was a Arabian horn viper. And of course, we got the mambas. We had them right. I didn't put in a black or a blue wildebeest. See, I could have put that in there. Also, a gnu. That thing, it was little. It looks kind of like I don't know. I think they're deer related, but they don't look like that. Was a blue Durkin. No, Duiker.
Diker.
Is that Docker? Okay, and blue
Yeah.
Docker.
And it's a little antelope. It's not a deer. It's an antelope. It's a true
Oh,
antelope.
it's an antelope. Okay. I didn't
Yeah,
read up on it.
it's like a dick that lives up in Kenya.
Yeah,
Just like little tiny little
I've seen
antelope.
those. Disney World's
Yeah,
got some of those.
Dikers are pretty closely related to them. They're antelope.
Okay.
They're not pronghorn. They're not our
Well,
version.
ours ain't related to anything.
Ours aren't antelope.
Yeah, they're unique.
But they have lots there. Yeah. And you haven't covered any of the antelope. I mean, other than
I know. That's what I mean. I get started on. I think, well, I'll put these animals together, and then I start down the path, and holy mackerel, there's just so much.
It's a pretty diverse place. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, those yellow and yellow-headed birds I said look like toasted marshmallows are Cape gannets.
Oh, gannets.
I should have remembered that. That's easy enough.
They're the ones that will go to sea, and when right off the coast of Africa, there's a big shark migration that occurs along that east coast of South Africa and on up into Zimbabwe and north. And there'll be just thousands and thousands and thousands of and a variety of species of sharks that are migrating that northerly, and they're following these giant schools of bait fish, and the sharks and the dolphins and whales will pod all those critters together and get them into a big bait ball, and then those gannets will be overhead.
Oh yeah, I've seen
and then
that.
they just spear themselves straight down into the water, and they go. I don't know how deep they go.
Oh, they go deep. Yeah, they go really
but
deep.
It's like darts. It's like old yard darts.
Yeah,
It's cool.
they I've seen those, and
They've got some great footage of that kind of stuff on some of David Attenborough's programs.
Yeah. Hey, Michelle. I just now saw you come in. I didn't say hi. Good afternoon or good morning to you. Kay said our zoo used to have a dick and had it displayed between the tigers and the lions. Oh, I bet he felt right at home. That's actually
bad location.
Yeah, bad location. That little elephant shrew I had species, it was actually a four-toed Sinji. And they're in trouble. That one that had the orange or red neck, that's a four-colored bush shrike.
A four-colored bush shrike, the one that was all blue and purple.
No, the one that's just had the red neck and then black. Then that big heron was a Goliath heron, which that's cool because I like herons. That was a good ground woodpecker that I said kind of looked like our flickers. Yeah. That was a Indian yellow-nosed albatross.
What are you doing running around with no shirt on? Camouflage britches and no shirt.
You can't hunt like that.
And it's too cold in this house for him to be running around. Where you going, buddy? Hey,
Hey, where's he heading? Uh-oh. Well, I'll get this finished up here in a minute, guys. I'm sorry we're so late. I didn't realize I hadn't looked at the clock. I get long-winded. I appreciate you guys hanging around. I know this is a long show. This is the longest I've been in a while. I guess you'll have to tell me if you want me to shut up and leave. If everybody leaves, then I guess I'll shut up. Yeah. I'll tell him that, Kay, when he comes back. Well, I'm going to tell you a couple of things like that. There he is. I'll tell him. What was I going to say? Oh, I know what it was. That really colorful bird.
Yeah.
That's a lilac-breasted roller.
Oh, a roller.
Yeah, and I think you could see that bird. That one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those roller species that are up there. So,
and that quail that we thought looked like a quail is a button quail, is what they call it.
oh man, John's time flies.
Here's your shirt from yesterday.
John's time flies. He's
Hey,
always
come here a minute, Boone, before you get your shirt on.
Go see Grandpa.
Come here. Hey, Boone.
Uh-oh.
The lizard with the blue head is a southern tree, agama, A-G-A-M-A.
Well, of course it is.
Of course it is. And that one long-billed bird we saw was a marsh sandpiper. And that other one, the one that had the black neck, it was a little bit taller, was a white-headed stilt, actually. Was that the one? Or did I? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, a stilt.
Yeah, and the Wilson Storm Petrel was the one that looked like it was walking on water. The one that was flying, it was black, is a white-chinned petrel. And that really neat-looking one we said kind of like a sandpiper. That was a blacksmith lapwing. Is what the common name. I'm not going for. I just didn't put in. I just didn't do the other ones. Anyway, that's what they were. I had names for all of them. I just didn't get them put in. And I was going off the list and things I was finding. So if they were wrong, I can't take all the blame. Except I guess I could have researched it more. Anyway, guys, that's been a long show. I appreciate everybody staying. I guess you need to put in the comments if it was just too much and too boring. Like I said, it was hard I'm going to have to learn how to cut those down so I get started on that and I want to put more and more and more in because if you're like me or Mark, even more, you get started down that path and the more you eat, the more you want, because there's just like he said, I didn't even get into the antelope species. And I've just touched the bird species, barely. There's a lot more mammals. There's just all kinds of stuff. And it's hard for me to stop wanting to put stuff in. And honestly, I've got slides here I didn't use because I just ran out of time. Hang on a minute. You remember that striped one we wondered about it being a skunk? It's called an African crested or maned rat.
Cool.
That's a wild looking critter. He does look.
I'm gonna leave, buddy. I gotta go feed horses, and I'm
gonna sign off. Thanks for hanging around. Enjoy
we'll see
your day,
everybody.
Huh? Oh, well, he's gone. All right, guys. I appreciate you being here. I didn't realize it was after 1 o'clock, which I don't know what that says. Fly time, some saltwater flies, and learning more wild. Well, that's cool, John. Maybe we ought to do a fly tying class one day or talk about flies because Mark does that too. Maybe you and him both could come on and show us how you tie flies, especially since you're tying saltwater. That'd be bigger. So now that I'm off and I'm wide awake, but I think I'm going to go take a nap. Yeah, everybody have a great weekend, a great day. Thanks, Michelle, for coming by. Sorry, I'm not sorry you got to come in. I started to say sorry you didn't get to see much, but if I hadn't stayed on late, you wouldn't have seen us at all, I guess. So my thumbs up for that. And anyway, before I can't talk at all, you guys, thanks for coming in. I'll see you next. I'll do this right up until I have to unhook my computers and move everything to when we move, wherever that may be. I'm going to try to make sure that cable or internet's one of the first things I get hooked up right after electricity. So hopefully I won't be off the air too long, but we'll see how it goes. And I don't know. Who knows? Maybe by then we'll be either be in a house or driving around the country in a camper. I'm not sure. But we'll be doing something. So see you guys. Everybody take care of me. Bring my hand over here where you can see it. And have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. Love y'all.